Stand up, New York Giant fans. Hope everybody is safe out there. Hope everybody's having a great day today. Thank you to everybody for being here. I wanted to give a quick shout out real quick to Alan for the incredible generosity. Thank you so much, man. You didn't have to do that. I really appreciate it, though, man. I hope I'll read it. He says, for your time and effort and putting up with my BS. It's no BS, man. Everybody's got their own opinions. You always bring a great one, man, and you usually agree with me. But I'm looking forward to doing that video for you. Hopefully I'll have that up tomorrow or the day after. I got to do some research. But, yeah, man, thank you for the incredible generosity. Thank you to everybody for being here. What's going on, Bigger Mike? What's going on, NYG for Life? Jersey, Joey, Lake Nona. Thank you. Simon Z, Bros in the house. Yaman's in the house. Thank you to everybody for being here. What's going on, G-Man, John, Logan, Scotty H. I hope everybody is staying safe out there. That's the most important thing. And like I always say when I do these live streams, you guys help keep me sane as much as I hope I'm helping keep you sane. And a couple ideas I wanted to run by you guys that I thought about doing. And let me know in the chat what you think. I got to look into if I'm allowed to do it, but I think I am because of the free NFL films. One thing I was thinking about doing was a watch-along. What's going on, Steven Evans? Of, like all-time great New York Giant games, showing it on the screen, maybe having me in the corner reacting to some of the plays, whatever it may be, to make it a little more entertaining and fun, and just talking in the chat about the game, whether it's Super Bowl 42, whether it's Super Bowl, the Giant Super Bowls, the NFC Championship games, whatever it may be. Those are some things I thought about doing maybe once a week, just something different on the channel. I'm also going to have a call-in show midday. But, yeah, man, let me know if you guys are interested in that. What's going on, Peter? What's going on, King? What's going on? Word says yes. Paul says yes. All right, so we'll definitely do it, man. What's going on, Dyer? Giants fan, thanks for popping into the stream. I appreciate everybody for being here. Yeah, I'm going to look into doing that. And we watch it all as New York Giants fans together. We could remember some of the good times when we had an offensive line, when we had a pass rush, and we didn't have to debate over what we were going to take in the first round of the draft, which is, the big story of conversation now, because obviously the New York Giants didn't really address the coverage linebacker in free agency. They didn't really address the offensive line. So now that's the big debate had by mock draft today. I know it would get some positive and negative feedback, as they always do. I wanted to say that mock draft had more to do with what I think Gettleman is going to do and less to do what I would do, even though I do like Wirfs. Jacob, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. He says, if Simmons and Young are on the board, but the Jags are offering 9 and 20 first-round pick, what would you do? Ooh, Jacob, man, that is a tough one. First off, Simmons and Young, I'm taking Young. Young's safer, in my opinion. I say it all the time. A supreme edge rusher is, just safer than a linebacker, even though I love Simmons. But the question is, Young or 9 and 20? Oh, man, I think I'm taking Young. But 9 and 20, let me talk about what we could get with 9 and 20. 9 and 20, you're getting you're getting one of the offensive tackles, right? You're going to get, either Becton, Wirfs, Wills, or Andrew Thomas. And then at 20, you might be able to get K'Lavon Chaisson. So you're going to get a really good edge rusher, probably the guy who I think is the second or third best edge rusher in this class, and an offensive lineman potentially, and then still have the 36th overall selection where you could take a center, you could take a safety. We talked about Grant Delpit in the chat before I went live. You'd have a number of options there in the second round. So it would be intriguing, but I don't think you could pass up on Chase Young. Thank you so much, man, for the love. What's going on? Thank you to everybody for being here. And try to answer some questions here, man. What's going on, Goat? I appreciate you for being here. What's going on, Taco? Thank you for being here. Trading back is a dream. Because you could fill all those holes. What do you think about Clowney? Lee says. All right, I wanted to talk about a couple of my subscribers today mentioned on Twitter. Some of my best subscribers talked about the Giants' possibility of somehow acquiring Clowney, and it was a very creative article. I don't think it will happen, but basically what the article talked about was rescinding the franchise tag for Leonard Williams, letting him walk, and using that money, the $17 million, to bring in Clowney. Supposedly the offer that has come out from the Seattle Seahawks is $18.5 million. That is the only way possible I could see it happening. I don't think the Giants' plan is to backload contracts. Do I think it will happen? No, I don't. But the fact that Clowney's price has come down, I guess it's a possibility. It was an interesting read. I didn't make a video on it because I think it's far-fetched. But you never know. But I think that's the only way we'd ever be able to bring in Clowney. What's going on? And there he is. Michael was one of the guys that pointed out to me on Twitter, man. What's going on, Michael? Thanks for popping in the stream. Ms. Rahi's in the chat. Hey, boys, you streaming? I am streaming today. What's going on, Craig? Thank you for being here. Avery's in the chat. Somebody asked me about Derek Brown. I forgot who it was, but wanted to answer that question real quick. Also said I was going to answer that before as soon as I went live. Derek Brown, don't really want him. You know, he's definitely a talented player, somewhat versatile, can play on the inside and out. The only way I'm interested, even remotely interested in Derek Brown, is that 9-20 scenario. If we get him at 9, and even then, I don't really want him. I think we're pretty strong in the defensive line. That's not one of our biggest needs. I wouldn't cry if we drafted him at 9, but I don't really want him. I think we have way too many other holes, whether it's Simmons at the linebacker, whether it's the tackle, whether it's the center, which, you know, obviously I wouldn't take till the second round, but it's just not one of our bigger needs. Let's see what we got here. Clowney only being offered 14 mil? I read 18 and a half, but I read that on Bleacher Report a couple of hours ago. What's going on, Ben? Thanks for popping in the stream. Jerry Mercado in the house. Any 2-round wide receivers you have a list on? There's a number of wide receivers we could take in the second round, but I mean, it depends on who drops to us. A lot of these guys you see mocked in the first, probably one's going to drop to us. I think T. Higgins is definitely a possibility that the Giants could potentially take in the second round. Brandon Ayuk's another guy that may be there in the second round. I don't think Justin Jefferson will be. There's a couple of others, though. There's probably 3, 4, 5 guys that the Giants could potentially be looking at the wide receiver in the second round if they, you know, feel that they should take a receiver there. I personally, like I've said the whole time, would wait until the early 4th, being that there's, you know, it's so deep at that position in the draft. Let's see what we got here. Who are good trade partners? What's going on, Yuri? Thanks for being here. Thank you to everybody for being here, by the way. Thank you so much. Who are some trade partners with the Giants? Okay, so the Giants, the trade partners. I pretty much, before free agency, I had 7 teams. You know, there was a lot of teams that could trade up. But now, I only see legitimately 3. Carolina got Bridgewater. The Bucks got Brady. The Colts obviously got Rivers, and they traded out of their first pick. So that knocks 3 teams off. Then, and it's really just the Jaguars, maybe the Raiders. The Raiders, a slight possibility. They brought in Mariota. I'm not too sure of the contract details. So maybe a slight possibility with the Raiders. The Jaguars, maybe, but obviously they got Minshew. Minshew was pretty good in his rookie year. We'll see what they decide to do there. They'd have to be blown away by Tua. I wouldn't rule them out. And then you got the Dolphins and the Chargers. Dolphins and the Chargers, I think, are the most realistic spots where the Giants could potentially trade down. But right now, I think it's slim pickings. And because it's slim pickings, I think it might be harder than it initially was for the Giants to potentially trade down with either one of those 2 teams at 4 or 5. At 5 or 6, rather. Because they know that the teams behind them aren't a threat to jump them. So, we'll see. Maybe the Giants can get something on draft night, but I'm leaning that they're going to have to pick at 4. Let's see what we got here. Can I get a shout out? And also, I think Clowney goes to the Jets. What's going on, Jesse? Thanks for popping in the stream. Chris, would you be interested if we signed Everson Griffin? Slap my Brock up. What's going on, man? Would I be interested if we signed Everson Griffin? I don't really want him. He's a little bit... I'm not going to be upset if we bring him in, but he's not a guy that's very versatile. He's predominantly a 4-3 defensive end. I don't think he'd fit what they're trying to do with versatility. He's older. He's like 32, 33. I'm not going to cry if they bring him in, but I'm not... It's an okay signing, but I don't think they're going to do it. What's going on, Dennis? Thanks for popping into the stream. Check my phone. My phone's on like 1%. My phone... No, my phone's still alive. Let me check my phone. Hold on, Bavith. Bavith in my Discord. Let's see what he said. Hold on. What'd he say? What'd you send me? A direct message, Bavith? There it is. NFC East cap space. There you go. Straight from Bavith. Redskins have 35. Eagles have 24. Cowboys have 24 also. And the Giants have $15 million. But, of course, 13's got to go to the draft. So we really got 2.3. So... Not much. Independent outside, man. Thank you so much, man, for the love. I really appreciate that. $10 donation. He says, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, man. He says, how much time for the rebuild? When do we extend our running back and quarterback? The signing free agency staff previously coached. Anyway, the Giants can draft Gross Matos. And who the Giants D-line coach Spencer coached at Penn State. Okay, let's start there. The New York Giants have shown that, and thank you again, have shown that they are very much about familiarity. Second round, there are two potential prospects that coaches on this staff are very familiar with at the pass rusher position. One of them is Gross Matos if he falls there. The other is Bourne out of Wisconsin. Bielema, of course, coached Bourne, and our D-line coach Spencer obviously coached Matos. So if either one of those prospects are available in round 2 and we're going defense, there's a very good chance they take those guys. So I'm not ruling that out. In terms of the rebuild, I've heard some people, on my channel, they say, how much longer do we got to wait? It's been 3 years. This is really the second year, guys. This is the second year of the rebuild. The first year that Gettleman got here, they were still trying to win. It was a mistake. Now, you could definitely say, well, maybe it was Gettleman's idea or maybe it was Mara's. At the end of the day, who cares? That year was not part of the rebuild. They were trying to win. They kept Eli Manning at quarterback. They drafted a running back at number 2 overall. We can't go back in time, guys. Last year, they drafted their quarterback. Last year was the first year of the rebuild. This is now the second. I think this year you start to see progress. Now, will that progress result in the win column? I don't know. We play a tough schedule. The Bucs got Tom Brady, which was thought to be a much more winnable game before they did that. Well, heck, we're going to have to wait and see, and hopefully the Giants win 9-10 games. But I think the year after this upcoming year is when we could actually expect to really be a prime playoff contender. But I think they're headed in the right track for the reasons I say all the time. The future cap space, the way they're building the football team, I do think we're on the right path. And then, what do you extend first, our running back or quarterback? I would extend Barkley first, only because he's a year more advanced in the process. And he's got to demonstrate that he stays healthy this year. But if he does, I would use this offseason to extend Barkley. If Jones shows great progression, not this offseason, the following offseason, and then the one after that, if we're convinced Jones is the guy going forward, get it done with. Don't do what the Cowboys did. Get it done with after 3 years. If after 3 years we're like, okay, Jones is our franchise quarterback, we're gonna have to pay the piper. But it's better to pay the piper 2 years in advance than pay the piper 2 years later. So I would like to extend those guys as quickly as possible if we think they're gonna be a part of our future. Thank you so much, man, for the donation. I really appreciate it, man. And thank you to everybody for being here. How do you become a member? There's a join button on the when you click the channel, you can click the join button. What is your opinion? And thank you for asking. What is your opinion on the OBJ trade? Okay, now I've been asked this before. I was asked this when they made the trade. I was asked this, more recently. I think they got what they could. I think they got a good deal. You compare it to what look what Diggs got, not Diggs rather. The other Hopkins got rather. Hopkins got a second round pick. For Beckham, we got a mid-first. We got a player that was drafted in the back end of the first, and we got a third round pick. And we shed ourselves of that salary, not to mention Beckham was a headache. I think the Giants did good in that trade. I don't think they were getting much more than what they got. And they moved on. So I think it was a good trade for the Giants. I've been very consistent with that. So I think it was a good trade. Sorry I'm late, Dana. What is going on, Aiden? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Don't extend the Dallas wait. Yeah, exactly. Get it done with as fast as you can. Joe. What is going on there, Joey Lutz, man? I hope you're safe over there, man. How do you copy someone's name to type back? That's what makes me... Oh, I don't know, Michael. But thank you guys for being here, man. Thank you to everybody for being here. Who cares about OBJ? Yeah, exactly. I'm just answering the question, Joe. But OBJ is no longer a New York Giant. He's not part of the future of this football team. Chris, have a football fan. Do you hate franchise tagging your star players instead of signing them to a big... Yes, I do. And now, everything is circumstantial. But at the end of the day, if a guy... I think a franchise tag should be used properly. I think there are instances where it is a good idea. But when you're talking about prime-time players, guys that you want to be on your team for a decade, when you take a running back 2nd overall, when you take a quarterback 6th overall, if they're playing well, they're in the 10-year plan. I'm not waiting to franchise tag those guys. I'm taking care of those guys. I'm paying them before the market reaches an insane level, and I'm extending them on their second contract as soon as I can at a reasonable rate. I'm not doing it after first or second year. Barkley's got to prove he's healthy. But if I get that done sooner than later, you get it done. Period. Let's see what we got here. Chris, where do you think Clowney will go? Chuck, good question. I am leaning either back to Seattle on a 1-year deal or Tennessee. I've heard Tennessee is a possibility. So I don't know where they're getting the cap space from, though. Peter, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, What are your insights on other offensive tackles? And I really appreciate that. You're the best podcaster. Lee, thank you very much. What are your insights on other offensive tackles in the draft after the big six? Oh, man, a lot of people, Trey Adams, I like Trey Adams. Trey Adams is big. He is a massive man. Didn't have the best combine. He's got an injury history. But I am a fan of Trey Adams. I wouldn't take him that early. A lot of people like the Cleveland guy. A lot of people like Yang. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. Yes, I think those are the more realistic options in the second round if we're going to go offensive tackle. Because when you look at the new map, and when I did the mock today, I didn't really look at it until today when I started doing the mock. Look at all the needs now, the teams now that need a tackle. The Titans need a tackle. The Cardinals are definitely taking a tackle. The Jets are probably taking a tackle. The Browns are taking a tackle. There's a bunch of others. The Vikings could take a tackle. They have 2 picks. So there's going to be at least 6, in my opinion, taken in the first round. Maybe 7, but at least 6. I don't think you're getting Austin Jackson in the second round. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. So I think those are the guys you're looking at if you're going offensive tackle in the second round. Let's see what we got here. V-Man Entertainment, man. Thanks so much for the love, man. Watching a vid on how Teddy Roosevelt saved football in America. By the way, which New York football team would our 26th president root for? I think I can guess. Teddy Roosevelt. Well, he was from I'm not great with history, but I'm pretty sure he was from Long Island. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I think he was. Maybe that's what you're hinting towards. I think he was. And I'm guessing hopefully the New York Giants. If Chase Young is at 4, do you take him or trade down with the Chargers if they were to offer the 7th pick, 2nd round pick, and 3rd round pick, and next year's 2nd and 3rd? If Chase Young is at 4, to be honest with you, Slav, I think I'm taking Chase Young. I think he's that good of a talent. There is almost no if Chase Young's there at the Giants at 4, I think they have to take him. Now, one thing I haven't talked about enough. What's going on, Whitney? Thanks for popping in the stream. One thing I have not talked about enough, the other benefit that I haven't really talked about, he rooted for the Jets. Okay. The other benefit that I haven't really talked about from trading down, if the Giants were able to orchestrate a trade and trade down from 4 to 12, it's also going to save you a ton of money on your cap because everything's, obviously you're paid by slot, right? The 4th overall pick gets paid a hell of a lot more than the 12th. So it would be long-term savings, too, if the Giants were able to orchestrate that trade, which is another benefit to the Giants potentially trading down if they feel like they could get a guy that they want at 12 that they could get at 4. So that's why they have to explore all options. I just don't know if they're going to be able to trade down. Jacob Kaiser, thank you so much for the $2 donation. I really appreciate that. He says, did you see Fish fit about DJ being a first? Wait to keep Daniel Jones, the more he's going to cost. So that's why I try to sew it up in 2 years, probably when Mahomes will get paid. And, Mahomes is going to restructure the market. I would try to sign Jones before that because it's just going to skyrocket even more. If he's in the long-term plans, of course, we have to find out if he is. We don't know yet. He's got to prove that he still got it after year 1 and probably have to prove it for another year after that. Let's see what we got here. You are the number one pie. Really appreciate that, Leo Womack. Thank you very much. Thoughts on the Melvin Gordon contract? What was it about? It was I think it was like 6 or 8. I can't remember the exact number. $6 or $8 million. It's a fair contract. I mean, he's one of the probably top 7 or 8 running backs in the sport. I think it was a fair contract. It wasn't like crazy, and he's still relatively young. He didn't play much last year. Mahomes going to get $1 billion. Yeah, he probably should. Oh, man. Keep Marcus Golden. I would love to keep Marcus Golden for the right price. What's going on, Neil? Thank you for popping in. I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, they would have to work some out with Leonard Williams, like I've said, in terms of a long-term deal instead of a franchise tag. What's the absolute best case scenario for the draft? Okay. Best case scenario for the New York Giants for the draft. We trade down. This is my opinion. I know a lot of people are going to say Simmons no matter what. We trade down from 4 to 6. I don't think it's anything more is going to happen than that. We get our tackle, whoever it is. I don't make that selection. I've seen that the Giants have been linked to Wirfs for a while. That's why I picked him to go in my mock. It wasn't even my selection. It's what I think the Giants would do. But we trade down from 4 to 6. We get our tackle. Then we have a pick at 36 and 37. We could either, like I've said, couple those 2 picks, move back up, try to get a guy like Caleb on Chase on. if he falls a little bit, or stay at 36 and 37, get your center, get your defensive player, whoever it may be, whether it's Matos, whether it's Bourne, and maybe a center as well. Then you have your offensive line sewed up for the next 10 years. You get your defensive player, and you still have a bunch of picks going forward. To me, I'd be very happy on draft night if that happened. Let's see. Tana, would you flip shit if Young dropped to us and we oh God, Dennis. If Chase Young is there and we don't take him, as much as I want the hog mollies, I will not be happy. I will not be happy, but don't bank on it. I don't think I'm going to get that opportunity. Reports are circulating Rivera isn't totally sold on Haskins. Yeah, GDO, I mean, that's been circulating for a while now. Obviously we're hearing the rumors about not just Tua, you're hearing the rumors about Cam Newton potentially going to the Washington Redskins, which I am praying happens. Please bring him to the Washington Redskins. I would love that. I think it would be a horrible idea. It would be something that Daniel Snyder has done his entire career, and as Giants fans, we should soak that up. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to roll with Haskins one more year. I could be wrong. We're going to find out very soon. What's going on, Jarvis Juice? Thanks for popping in the stream. Payback Carter in the chat. What's going on, man? Thank you for being here. What's up, Chris? You know me. I love Raiders trade down. Cassandra, you and me both, man. I would love that Raiders trade down. Which wide receiver should the Giants draft in the later rounds? I mean, Colin Johnson's a guy I've talked about. Gandy Golden's a guy I've talked about. I'm going to do a mock draft, a 7-round mock draft in probably 2 or 3 days. I am not going to just give you one player with each pick. That is one thing I've decided I'm going to do. I'm going to give you options. In the first round, second round, I'm probably giving you the player, but I'm going to give you, fourth round, I'm going to say I'm going wide receiver here. These are the 3 or 4 guys I would go, and then, a brief description of each player, running backs, whatever it may be. So I'm going to go over all the names in a couple of days. I'm going to do a 7-round mock draft for the Giants, tell you who I would take, but then tell you what other players I would debate taking in that spot. Chase Claypool I don't think is getting that far, but he would be great. Winston or Newton to the Raiders. Oh, wow. It's possible, but they just signed Mariota. I don't know the contract specifics. I think Winston should go to the Steelers. I think it's a great fit. I really do. I think it would be a great fit. Best Giants quarterback of all time. Best Giants quarterback of all time. That's got to be Eli Manning. It's got to be. I mean, Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls. I know Sims did too, but, he went down. Hostetler won the other. It's got to be Eli Manning. Yeah, Eli. Let's see what we got here. What's going on, Newcastle? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Cornerback in the second. No, we have our cornerback set. I don't want to take a cornerback anywhere near the second. We got Bradbury, and we got DeAndre Baker. We got Sam Beal. We got Julian Love. Once we took Bradbury in free agency, we filled a need. We don't got to take a cornerback now early in the draft. So that was one thing that we were able to accomplish for sure in free agency. We're not taking a cornerback. If they take a cornerback in the second round, I might explode. Can't do it. Have too many other holes to fill. Best Giants running back of all time in terms of talent, Saquon Barkley. In terms of career, Tiki Barber. But hopefully Saquon passes him one day. Let's see what we got here. I love Bradbury. I think he'll be an animal. I'm a fan of Bradbury. I was watching some film on him. I saw Kid Blue did a film breakdown. I was thinking about doing a film breakdown myself. I was watching him go up against some of the best receivers in the sport, Michael Thomas. I like Bradbury. He's physical. He plays close to the receiver. I'm a fan of Bradbury. I'd be very happy if the Giants were. I'm very happy that he is a Giant, and if he stays on here long term. And I thought that a 3-year deal was a very good deal for the New York Giants. The fact they get out after 2 if he gets hurt, if it's not working out. So I think the Giants did a good job with that contract. I appreciate that, Stealth, man. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate it. Would you offer Saquon $20 million per season for 4 years? I mean, I'm going to offer Saquon whatever the market dictates because I think he's going to be here long term, and that's why I keep saying get it done now. Because if you keep waiting, it's not going to go down. So, if he's healthy after this year, I think they should get it done. But they're going to have to pay him. I mean, when you draft a player number 2 overall, you're looking to keep him here long term. So, Giants got to swallow their pride. They're going to have to pay him, and the sooner they pay him, the better. If you're able to pay him, the market goes up, and you're still paying him at a rate from 2 years ago. That's the smart thing to do. Do you like I am not a trash talker. I am not. Gordon Gecko, man, thank you so much, man, for the love. I really appreciate the love, man. $5 donation. I love Gordon Gekko, man. He says, hey, Chris, best show. Maybe you answer this, but here's my question. Young drops to 4th, and then we get an offer for 2 number ones. What? Gordon, I'm going to answer it, man, because you're the man, but I've actually been asked that 3 times. So, hypothetical scenario, Gordon. 9 and 20, or we take Chase Young. I got to take Chase Young. I got to take Chase Young. He's the safest pick in this year's draft. He's exactly what we need on defense. As much as I want the offensive lineman, that is one player I cannot pass up on. But I am not going to be upset if they got 9 and 20. Believe me, 9 and 20, you still get your tackle and you get a good defensive player. But I think Chase Young is that special of a talent that I don't think I'd be able to trade down. It would have to be even more than 9 and 20. I would have to get even more than that to do it. Let's see what we got here. I'm sorry, but no, Gordon, you never have to apologize, man. I'm just letting you know I was answering your question. You never have to apologize, man. Simmons. Oh, I'm taking the 9 and 20 over Simmons, and I'm not trying. I love Simmons, but Simmons is not. Chase Young to me is much more of a slam dunk than Simmons. I'm taking the 9 and 20 over Simmons. There's still a small minute possibility you might get Simmons at 9 if you trade it down. I don't think you would. I would say like 5 or 10%. But, yeah, I would take the 9 and 20 over Simmons personally. That's me. Because I'm still getting my tackle and I get a defensive player at 20. Hey, Chris, what do you think about the Blake Martinez pickup? I don't hate the Blake Martinez pickup. I wasn't in love with it. I was kind of like, about it. You know, I like reading about, the history he had with Patrick Graham. He actually had a good coverage grade 2 years ago with Patrick Graham. He had like an 85 coverage grade. This year it was all awful. And everybody says you watched the film from 2 years ago, he was much better. I don't love the signing. It was an okay signing. It filled a hole. Is he gonna be a guy that revolutionizes his defense? No. But we get out after 2 years. We front loaded the contract. I don't think it was a bad deal. It wasn't a good one. It wasn't bad. I was kind of like about it. I like all the other signings though a lot. Let's see what we got here. Who's your favorite tackle in the draft? I flip every day. I really do. Andrew Thomas, Jedrick Wills, and Wirfs. I picked Wirfs today not because some days I say he's my favorite, and then I listen to other people and I hear their opinion and I'm like, you know what? They got a good point. Wills is more of a tackle. Thomas is more of a tackle. Wirfs is projected to be a guard. I picked Wirfs today more so because I think that's who the Giants would pick. I've heard the Giants linked to Wirfs for a while. Before the combine, after free agency, I've seen it all around. Experts, Kim Jones has talked about it. I've seen it in articles. But that could be smoke. We won't know. But my educated guess was if they're going to stay at 4 and take a lineman, it would be Wirfs. Maybe it won't be. But I've heard his name linked to the Giants the most, at least recently. So that's why I picked Wirfs to the Giants at 4. But I'd probably lean Wills. If I'm definitely going tackle, I'd probably lean Wills or Andrew Thomas. But I really like Wirfs too. I like Becton, but I'm not going to be upset with any one of them, to be honest with you. But I think I'd have Becton 4th just because I think he has the highest possibility to bust. That's just my personal opinion. Let's see what we got here. Is Blake Martinez an upgrade over Alec Ogletree? I would say he's a slight upgrade. I would say he's a slight upgrade, yes. He's younger. I would say he's a moderate upgrade, actually. A little more than slight. Alec Ogletree was garbage. I would say he's a moderate upgrade, yes. Raphael doing it, man. Thank you so much for the $2 donation. He says, you should make a podcast called Talking NFL. I would love to do that, man. I always like to take ideas from you guys. And one thing I definitely want to do next offseason, obviously I want this to be a Giants-focused channel. It's always going to be Giants-focused. But I do like talking broad NFL. I'm going to do things like power rankings. I'm going to do weekly picks. And I would do a weekly podcast once a week where I talk broad NFL. Or maybe, I did a pregame show a couple of times. I do something like that every Sunday where we talk about all the games. But I would absolutely be open to do a talking NFL podcast if people are interested and wanted to listen. Recapping the games every week, talking about the storylines in the NFL. I definitely would do that. Do you think the Patriots will be good without Tom Brady? Don't sleep on the Patriots. Don't sleep on the Patriots. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. It's so hard for me to count out Bill Belichick. I know they lost so much talent, but there's been so many years where they've lost so much talent. But obviously, this is the first year without Tom Brady. So, it's a good question, man. It really is. I don't know. I'm not counting them out, but I'm also not going to say that they're world beaters either. I got to wait and see who they had at quarterback. But I'm not counting them out yet. Independent Outsider, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. WFAN auditioning now. I say go for it. Really? Independent. I did not know about that. What are they doing, the Fantasy Phenom thing? I know they used to do that. I honestly haven't listened to WFAN much because I haven't been out of the house much because of this virus. Yeah, no, I'll look into it. Why not? It's always worth a shot. Obviously, I can't travel much right now, but yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Peter Buscardi with the $2 donation. He says, I would love to see which guys the G-Men's made offers to. Yeah, and we're never going to know. You know, a lot of people say Corey Littleton. First, you know, some things I've heard, and I don't know if it's opinion, I don't know if it's fact-based, Corey Littleton wanted to stay on the West Coast. Now, who knows? You know, obviously, if the Giants would have paid more, maybe he would have came here. We're never going to know, you know, but it would be nice to hear, you know, what the New York Giants potentially passed up on, for sure. Oh, Lax, man, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation, man. I really appreciate it. He says, if they trade down to 6 and Simmons is still there, should they take him or go with a tackle? Becton scares me. He gives me Eric Flowers vibes. And Lax, I definitely get the scared approach there with Becton because he was kind of a relatively unknown player. He's big. He doesn't have the best of technique of all the other players, but he is an imposing force. And he may have the highest upside. I will say that. And I will not cry if we take Becton. But as far as the trade down to 6, Lax, I'm going to give you the same answer I give. If we trade down to 6 and you still have the choice of the tackle or Simmons, I go either way. I mean, really, I would. I would go either way. Now, you could argue more so Simmons there, and I'm going to explain why. If you took Simmons at 6 and say you got the 37th, you got 36, 37, you could then take both of those picks, trade back up, and get a tackle. Now, I don't know if you're getting one of the top 4, but you could probably trade back up and assure yourself a guy like Jones. That is an extreme possibility. So I actually, in that scenario, if I knew I'd have the ability to trade back up and get a tackle, I may be inclined to take Simmons in that scenario. If we can't trade down, I personally would be leaning more towards the tackle. But in that scenario, it could make a lot of sense. Tyler Haynes, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, I swear the damn Pats are going to tank for Lawrence. They might. They might end up with Love, too. You know, that's why I'd go into them in my mock draft. I think Love's got a world of potential, but yeah, Lawrence is a stud. I appreciate that, Nick Tape. Thank you so much, man, for the love, man. I really do. Hey, Chris, what do you think about the Giants' record is going to be next year? Ask me that after the draft. But if I'm being honest with you, go in with moderate expectations, expect and hope for the best. Being realistic right now, before the draft, I'd say 6 or 7 wins. I'd hope for 12. I'd hope for 16. But going in realistically, I'd say 6 or 7 wins. But I think you're going to start to see progress to set us up for a long period of time of success. I really believe that in the following year and for the next 3 or 4 years after that. So I think it's going to be an encouraging year, but it's a tough schedule, and it's going to be really tough for us, I think, to really win 11 or 12 games, 10 games. But anything's possible. It's the NFL. And let's see what we got here. Tom, man, thanks so much, man, for the love, man. $2 donation. He says, hands down, you're the most talented sports person out. Tom, man, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for all your support of my channel. And I remember Tom, I don't know why I do it. I don't know why I started doing it, but he corrected me in something that I do in all my videos. And I actually, sometimes I still slip up and do it when I watch my videos, but I've made it I've made it a focal point to try to listen to his advice and try to correct that every time I say a name. And thank you so much, BS, for the $5 donation. He says, storyline of the year, Brady goes to Tampa Bay and fails. Winston goes to New England and gets resurrected by Belichick, becoming an MVP candidate. BS, I am telling you right now, and thank you for the love, man. I really appreciate it. I am telling you right now, one thing I am really hoping for this offseason is Belichick and the Patriots to get their hands on an established quarterback, because then it makes the debate interesting. If they're going in there with a nonsense quarterback, Brady's going to be more successful. But if they get Winston, or if they, throw in a Newton, whatever, then it becomes interesting. And I would love to see who's more successful. I would love to see it happen. Let's see what we got here. Andy Rod, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, is Antonio Hamilton and Mike Remmers good? Antonio Hamilton was a good special teams player. We all saw how he played when he was a cornerback. Okay? He looked like Swiss cheese. But in terms of a special teams talent, Antonio Hamilton was very good. The Giants lost a good special teams player there. Mike Remmers was Mike Remmers was satisfactory. We pretty much replaced Remmers with another guy who hopefully is a little bit better, but more of, a satisfactory offensive lineman with Fleming, the guy we got from the Cowboys. So not much of a loss there. Hamilton was a good special teams player, but obviously we brought in the guy from the Pats. So, obviously every offseason you're going to have some casualties. Let's see what we got. But thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it, man. Winston in New England with 0 weapons. Yeah, he probably would have. He probably would. He won't want 50 interceptions. Jeffrey, you're probably right, Jeffrey. He threw 30 interceptions with Tampa. He's not the right fit. He's not the right fit. Jeffrey's right about that, actually. Now that I think about it, that's a good point Jeffrey brings up. You'd probably want more of a Alex Smith type quarterback to go over there with the lack of weapons in New England. That's a good point he brings up. Good point, Jeffrey. Love your videos. Keep up the good work. I really appreciate that, Russell. Thank you very much. And thank you for being here. Love your mock drafts, man. I really appreciate that, B-Hell. I'm gonna try to do a 2-round mock draft soon, and I'm gonna do a Giants 7-round mock draft. Just Giants. Main focus, man. Thank you so much, man, for the love. $2 donation. He says Andy Dalton Pats. I've talked about Andy Dalton in the past. I think he'd be a fine fit, and I think he'd play well there, the Red Rocket. I think he'd be a good fit. Thank you for the love, man. Sam Borowski. Seems to me... Sam, what's going on, man? Great subscriber of mine. Seems to me we have to pick a center in round 2. I think that we definitely could take a center in round 2. I think we go a couple ways, but I'm with you, man. We don't really have a center right now. And at the latest, round 3. Or the early round 4, but we need to address the center, no doubt about it. And if we get Ruiz there, yeah, you jump on it, in my opinion. Depending on who's there. Obviously, if there's somebody you can't pass up, if Caleb Chase Hun's there, I probably got to take him. But you got to have your eyes at least on a center potentially in the second round, along with a couple of other spots. But I agree with you. Brody, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, how do you feel about Biadish in the second or third? I like Biadish. I've talked about Biadish in the past. I know Big Daddy loves Biadish. He's talked about him in the past. I think Borowski loves him too. I've watched his film. I'm impressed. Now, he's had some injury history, right? So that's why he seemed to drop. So you may be able to get him in the back end of the third. I've seen him drop in mocks. So he's an interesting guy to definitely target in the third round. I think in the second, we probably wouldn't take him there, but I could be wrong. Oh, man, OGR, man. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate OGR, man. If you guys have not gone to OGRs, and I watched his last video. I meant to comment on it. I don't know what. I think I was going to bed, and I just watched the video. Great job of the recap with free agency, man. OGR and me always think so much alike. Sometimes we differ, but I think we think alike a lot, and that's why I love his channel. I love him. I want him on the channel hopefully this week or next to talk about free agency and the draft, so I can't wait for that. Going over there and to subscribe to him. He says, you're a freaking lunatic. We are in oh, see, I didn't even read it. I did not even read the donation yet. And he's saying the same thing I just said. You're a freaking lunatic. We are in lockstep when it comes to the Giants. Granted, we still have a ton of holes in a perfect world. What draft picks would like to see rounds 1 to 4? Give us the best chance to contend. Okay, what I want to see, OGR, in terms of the draft picks, I'm not going to give you, I'll give you positions. I want to go tackle early. I want to trade down and get the tackle. But I want to go tackle. I want to go, and then, okay. Best case scenario for you, OGR. We trade down to 6. We get the tackle. Whoever they deem is the best tackle. Thomas, Wills, Wirfs, Becton, whoever. Get our tackle. 36 and 37. We take Bourne and we take Ruiz. Now we got our center. We got our tackle. We got our edge rusher who's versatile with Bourne. Obviously has connections to Bielema. We don't got to worry about offensive line next year's draft. We don't got to worry about offensive line the year after that. We're going to have cap space. We could sign another offensive lineman if need be. Okay, so that's settled. Now we can focus on defense going forward. Third round, fourth round. I'm looking for a slot corner, possibly. Pride out of Notre Dame is an interesting prospect. I'm looking for a wide receiver. I'm looking for a tall guy like Colin Johnson, Antonio Gandy-Golden. That's what I'm looking at. That would be my perfect draft. OGR, thanks for the love, man. I really appreciate it. And let's see what we got. Slob on my broccoli. Rob with the $2 donation. Fleming is our right tackle. Shake my head. Keep Simmons out of New York. We need offensive line. You're on board, Broccoli. I know that you are a big Okuda guy, but he wants the hog mollies. He's joined the train. What's up, Slob on my broccoli, Rob, man? I really appreciate the love, man. Let's see what we got. I'd look for a wideout in the second round. Not crazy, especially if you trade down and you have an extra pick. If there's a wide receiver there that, dropped that shouldn't have been there, it's not crazy to take a wide receiver in the second round. Let's see what we got here. Oh, man, thank you. If the prospect pans out, you're right, Jeffrey. That's fair. That's fair. The offensive line has to pan out. It hasn't panned out in recent years. That's fair. I'm going to do a video on that, though. I'm going to do a video on that. One of my subscribers, Alan, who was incredibly generous today, in one of my videos today, gave me an idea to do a video breaking down offensive linemen that have gone in the top 10 picks over the last 10 years and basically talking about their success rate and how the team has done in general in terms of wins, losses that have, spent early draft picks on offensive linemen. So I'm going to do a lot of research on that, and I'm going to compare it to other positions, and I'm going to try to, give you guys, some kind of, research behind it on what has a higher success rate. Taking an offensive lineman, taking a linebacker, taking an edge rusher, whatever. So I'm going to do my best to really dive into top 10 specific draft picks at those positions. I cannot pronounce your name. It's T and a bunch of letters behind it, but thank you so much for the $5 donation. It does not matter how good our defense is if we do not invest resources into the O-line. Drafting Simmons won't change the win total. Drafting a tackle will. Listen, at the end of the day, Big Daddy said it best before I went live. I love the quote. He said, do you want to draft a hot girl? Do you want to marry the really hot girl, but you don't know what you got? Or do you want to marry the pretty girl that you know is going to be stable? That's what you're asking. The hot girl is Simmons. The pretty girl, the person you know is going to be there for 10 years and is going to fill a need is the offensive tackle. And the offensive tackle is incredibly important. And it's something that we need to pay attention to sooner or later. So, and being that we have a second-year quarterback, it's why I've been outspoken about it. But I'm not going to cry about Simmons. He's a great talent. Malik, man, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, stay safe out there. Here's for some hand sanitizer and a chopped cheese. There's nothing wrong with chopped cheese, and I would love to spend that on hand sanitizer. It's all sold out. It's all sold out, but when it gets back on the shelves, I'll definitely put that towards that. Malik, thanks for the love, man. I really appreciate that. And let's see what we got here. Pedesance, man. Pedesance, one of my OGs. He won my first giveaway. I remember that. He won my first giveaway, my 1,000 sub giveaway. He's an old-time Giants YouTuber. Thank you so much for the love. He says, stand up. Do you think we can compete for the division if we have a solid draft? Stay safe and healthy. Yes, but not. I don't think it's going to happen. But yes, the NFL, anything can happen, right? But the Eagles and Cowboys are still, I think, a year ahead of us. If everything breaks right, can we compete? Yeah. Do I think we're going to win the division? No. But do I think we can win 8 or 9 games if everything breaks right? Sure. Am I going to go in with those expectations? No. I'm going to go in. I don't want people to go in and say, if we only win 6 games, Joe Judge sucks. Gettleman sucks. Like, this has got to be as long as we see progression, you see the offensive line getting better, you see the defense getting better, you see Daniel Jones' pocket awareness getting better, he's not turning over the football, he has better pre-snap reads, that's what I'm looking for this year. At the end of the day, that's what I'm looking for this year. Okay, it's about gradual increase, getting gradually better over time. It's not going to happen overnight. But thank you so much for the love, man. I really appreciate it. And OGR with the $2 donation, he says, Bobby Woodruff is in the chat. Say hi quickly. Bobby! Everybody in the chat. I need everybody in the chat. Sorry, Bobby, if I didn't see you. Everybody in the chat needs to say hi to Bobby, and they need to say hi to Seahawk. So, Bobby, what's going on? Thank you for popping in the stream. And I got a $2 donation from Cruzon. Cruzon's the man. He wants the offensive lineman, too. He says, do you consider Simmons a pass rusher? No. I consider Simmons a jack-of-all-trades player, and I've been consistent. I think Simmons' best attribute is his coverage skills. He's basically a guy that could play the slot. He could take away your tight end. He could take away your corner. And, yeah, he has the athleticism to go in there and, blitz. But he's not an edge rusher. He's a guy that drops back in coverage. You could use him as a safety. You could use him as a linebacker. He's basically a unbelievable slot corner because he could do a variety of other things. But he's a jack-of-all-trades player. He's definitely not a pass rusher. Chase Young is a pass rusher. But thank you so much, Philip, man. I really appreciate that. Let's see what we got. And I'm glad everybody said hi to Bobby. Let's see what we got. Gordon Gecko with the $5 donation. Will Baker Mayfield be a starter after Week 10 on an NFL team? Can we get a vote? I'm a fan of Daniel Jones, but does anyone else think he lacks some arm strength? All right, Gordon Gecko. Let's answer that. I do think, and I am not a Mayfield fan. Here's my story on Mayfield. I know Bad Dog's a big Mayfield guy because he's an Oklahoma fan. Here's my story on Mayfield. I like Mayfield a lot going into the draft. I was actually in love with Mayfield. I liked his attitude. I liked his leadership. Once he came after the Giants, gloves came off. Mayfield last year struggled, but a lot of that had to do with the offensive line. I actually think, if I'm being completely fair and unbiased, as much as I do not like Mayfield, I actually think Mayfield could have a really solid year this year. Being that I think they're gonna draft Andrew Thomas or whoever. They're gonna draft the tackle. You got Conklin, so they definitely fixed up that offensive line. You got him another weapon. If Baker Mayfield can't get it done this year, he ain't gonna get it done. Okay, so I do think Mayfield will play better this year. As far as Daniel Jones goes, Daniel Jones, I think, has average arm strength. I don't think he has superior arm strength. I think the book on Daniel Jones when he came into the pros was he had below average arm strength. I think it's actually better than that, but I think it's average. I think it's average arm strength. But it's enough. He's got enough, man. He doesn't have a cannon, but he can make the throws. Thank you so much, Philip, man. I really appreciate that. And Chizolo with the $2 donation. Damn, Corona is getting... Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy. I saw the reports with the New York cases, man. It's like... I think it's like 11,000. There's something crazy, man. I'm scared to leave my house. I go out jogging. That's about it. I'm scared to leave my house. Thank you so much, man, for the love. I really appreciate it. And THDDDD with the $2 donation. He says hand sanitizer equals 2/3 aloe and 1/3 alcohol. Whatever. I think maybe it means alcohol. So there you go. You can make homemade hand sanitizer. So there's a tip for you guys if it is sold out at the grocery store. Thank you for the love, man. I really appreciate that. And I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything else. That's what I do when I think, by the way, guys. And Trevor with the $2 donation. When is it okay to go hog wild in free agency? Not yet. Trevor, I actually never believe in going hog wild in free agency. I believe in spending, and I believe in spending on big players on 5-year contracts. But I believe in spending incrementally. I don't believe in doing 3 players in one offseason like we did in 2016. You look at the best teams. I did a video on this. None of them do it. Patriots, yeah, they'll bring in one big guy, maybe 2 if they're desperate. They're not bringing in 3. The Steelers never bring in anybody. I mean, they literally don't know what free agency means. The best teams don't do it. So I do believe in bringing in a 5-year guy here, bringing in a 5-year guy there. But I don't think we're ready yet. I think we need to extend Barkley. Then we start to bring in a big piece here, a big piece there. But you got to build through the draft first. Thank you for the love, man. I really appreciate it. Let's see. And Chizolo, man, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything else. Scott's in the house. What's going on, Scott? Thank you very much. $2 donation from Chizolo. He says, 3 days ago we were at 112 deaths. Now we have 325 in the USA. Yeah, man, it's tripled, man. It's crazy. And Italy's insane. I saw the numbers in Italy, but all I can stress to everybody is stay safe. Make sure you're being smart. Don't go out in public places with tons of people. And make sure you're safe, man. That's all I can say. Independent, man. Thanks so much for the love, man. $2 donation. It says, please, guys, be patient with the post office. Very busy. Independent, of course, works at the post office. And, yeah, I'm sure everything's busy, man. I'm going to tell you right now, if this thing doesn't get solved in 2 or 3 months, my hair is going to be down to here. I'm going to have the longest hair I've ever had because I can't go to the barbershop. So the little things in life you don't even think about that you take for granted. And sports is certainly one of them. But yeah, I'm trying to get away from it now, and hopefully you guys are having a good time talking about sports in the chat or with me or whatever. But thank you guys for being here. Slob on my broccoli Rob with the $2 donation. He says, do you think Saban will talk Judge into drafting Wills? That is something that is an interesting possibility that I did not talk about in the mock draft. I've thought about that in the past. Wills, of course, from Alabama. Judge originally, well, not originally, but he coached at Alabama with Saban. And, he obviously has a connection there. And it is a possibility. It definitely is a possibility if they're going to go offensive line that he may go with him because of his ties to Alabama. People originally talked about that with Judy. I don't think we're taking a wide receiver, but it could make sense. It's a really good point you bring up, and I've seen other people bring it up in the past. It is a good point. I pray we have football season. I think we're going to have football season. I really do. Chat, do me a favor. Bang that like Tana bangs Dolphins. OGR's the man. And if you haven't done so, please hit that like, subscribe, ring the bell. More importantly, go over to OGR's channel and subscribe to him. Love that guy. He's great content creator over there. Should we sign Darrell Williams or Golden? I wouldn't be opposed to Darrell Williams, but the thing is, we talked about it earlier. We got $15 million in cap space. 13's got to go to the draft. Yeah, you can restructure some contracts, but don't think that's in the Giants' plans, man. They front-loaded everything so they could have cap space for the foreseeable future, which at the end of the day, I think was the right decision by the Giants. I think that it's long-term thinking. They're not thinking short-term. But, yeah, that's just my take on it. But another thing I wanted to run by everybody, for anybody that may have just popped into the stream, one thing I'm thinking about doing that I think is fun for everybody. I got to look into it to make sure I can do it. But being that the NFL Game Pass is free, one thing I was thinking about doing was showing great Giants games, not just streaming it, doing a play-by-play, but actually showing the games, having my face in the, in the little in the corner, whatever, reacting to the game, but us watching the games together, whether it's Super Bowl 42, the 49ers championship game, the Packers championship game, whatever. But just showing some great Giant games, maybe once a week, kind of like a movie, watching it together as Giants fans. So that's one thing I thought about doing with you guys. So if you'd be interested in that, let me know. And thank you so much, OGR, with the $2 donation. He says, those were mermaids, not dolphins. Oh, my mistake. My mistake. The Entertainer back at it with another Q&A. What's going on, John B? Thanks for popping into the stream. What's going on, Pumpkin? Yeah, all right. So you guys like that idea. Yeah. So I got to look into that. So I think that'd be cool to get to watch it, with other Giants fans and have a chat and everything else. So that's one thing I'll look into doing for sure. Favorite NFL I mean, I hate to say it, man, because he was a Cowboy, but I got to go Tony Romo. Man. The Giants-Packer games, the far intercept. Here we go. Trivia question. I say it all the time to pick on Packer fans. Brett Favre's last completed pass ever was to Corey Webster as a Green Bay Packer. I'm just saying, Packer. I'm not trying to pick on you, but it's fact. My dream scenario, if we don't trade down, is Simmons at 4, Josh Jones is in the second. Well, yeah, that'd be great. If we were to take Simmons and we get Josh Jones in the second. What's going on there, Ben Clark? Ms. Rye in the chat, man. Should we trade Williams and a 5th for Unique? Yeah, but I don't see the Jaguars doing that. Like, why? If the Jaguars could get a second-round pick or a late first or a second-round pick for Unique, why would they take back Leonard Williams' contract and a 5th? I just don't see it. I don't see why they would do that. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely entertain that for sure. You're basically swapping franchise tags, getting a guy who's a much better player, in my opinion, and giving up a 5th-round pick. Yeah, I would do that. And then maybe you work out a contract, maybe you don't. But I just don't see why the Jaguars would do that. Dennis Miller. Oh, God. Dennis Miller. Dennis Miller was on Monday Night Football for 1 year. I remember that. And it was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah, he didn't last long. Dennis Miller. I hate listening to Romo. I think Romo's great, bro. You don't like Romo? Now I heard Peyton Manning is going to be in the broadcast booth this year. And that's going to be interesting because, I mean, there has not been a player that's, in my opinion, since I've been watching the sport, that's smarter than Peyton Manning. So it's going to be incredibly interesting for me to hear him break down the game. So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to is Peyton Manning. Let's see what we got here. Josh Jones or Austin Jackson at 30. Josh Jones, but I don't think definitely both aren't going to be there. You'll be lucky if one's. Definitely both won't be there. How would you feel if we took 2 at 4? How would I feel if we took 2 at 4? Remember my Daniel Jones reaction last year? Maybe you don't. It would be triple that. Triple that. If we take a quarterback at 4, I'd probably just end the stream. I will literally just end the stream. I will end the stream and go upstairs and just slam my head, with a pillow for like 3 hours straight. If we take a quarterback at 4. Let's see what we got here. Well, that's your opinion. My opinion pertaining to what? I don't know what you're talking about there. Is it me or does the free NFL Game Pass only go up to 2009 and before it? Oh, I didn't look into that. So if that's the case, I can't do 07. I could do the Super Bowl run, the second Super Bowl run, which sucks. I didn't look into that. So hopefully that's not the case. Should we get sold to the restructurers deal to create more cap space? Still some good free agents out there. Yeah, but maybe. But at the end of the day, you don't want to push too much of it to next year because then it's going to be a bigger dead cap hit, right? I mean, part of the thing we like about sold to next year, we're only going to have to take a $6 million dead cap hit. We'll save $14 million. If you backload it, it's going to be a bigger cap hit. You'd have to keep Solder another year. So, something you got to think about. Best NFL rivalry. There's a lot of good ones. Bears-Packers, good one. Giants-Eagles, good one. Eagles-Cowboys. All the NFC East are great. Giants-Redskins. Raiders, Broncos, I think is a good one. There's a lot of good ones. Niners, Cowboys, even though they're not in the same division, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, those are some of the good ones. Some of the old school teams. What's going on, Juliana? Thanks for popping in the stream. Yeah, that contract was atrocious. Bigger Mike on the toilet. Well, I hope everything comes out well. Hopefully you have toilet paper. I know that, these are trying times for things like that. And Raymond, man, thanks so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, I want the number one wide receiver with the first pick, then go O-line after that. Don't trust Shepard when he has concussions, and Tate is an okay number 3 wide receiver. Hey, man, that's what's great about sports. We're all open to our opinions. And I don't bash anybody. I understand the value of a wide receiver. I do not want to do that. But if you were to get a wide receiver at 4, you would have to go O-line in the second, in my opinion. I do not want to do that, especially in a draft like this, where, like I always say, it's a very deep wide receiver draft. You can find a good one in the 4th or 5th, and I think there's much more pressing needs to this team, whether it be on the defense or the offensive line. If we're going to take an early wide receiver, I'd rather it be next year. Because I'd rather sew up the holes that need to be filled, and then if you want to try to bring in a piece like that, maybe next year early in the draft, if not the year after that. I think it's too early. But, yeah, Judy obviously making a much more dynamic offense. Thank you for the love, man. I really appreciate it. Let's see what we got. Can the Giants take over the division? Not this year, but yes, they can. I think that they could, if they keep building this team the right way, be in a great position to be in competition for the division year in and year out for a 5, 6, 7, 8 year stretch. Like they were when we got Eli Manning. But they got to do it the right way. What's going on there, G-Man409? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Still can't believe Garrett. I know. Giddy up. I think. By the way, every time I do these streams, the coffee gets cold. I got to get like a microwave down here to nuke the coffee. Every half hour I put it in the microwave to keep it warm. It's cold again, but I'm going to drink it cold. I don't care. And I got the Panda. You guys remember the Panda mug? I got the Panda tonight. Who's number 1 next year, Lawrence or Fields? Lawrence. Lawrence is going number 1 overall. Let's see what we got. 2021 NFC East champs. Mark my words. I'm with you, Dennis. I think that's a distinct possibility for sure. What's my favorite college football team? Notre Dame. I'm not a huge college football fan, but Notre Dame is my favorite team. I fell in love with Notre Dame when I was a kid watching Rudy. I hope you see this. My perfect first 3 rounds are Isaiah Simmons, Austin Jackson, Tyler Biadasz. Okay. Yeah. I'd be happy with that. If we were able to get Austin Jackson in the second round, but there's no telling if we're going to, because like I said in my mock draft, there's more teams, I think, than even before that need an offensive tackle. And there's less teams that need a quarterback. So instead of taking a quarterback, they might take an offensive tackle. So I honestly, I could be wrong. I don't think Austin Jackson's going to be there in the second round. But I would have told you the same thing about a lot of offensive tackles last year. So things happen on the draft every year. So you never know. Let's see what we got here. They probably have an electric pad device for Josh. Yes, you're right. I need to get one of those. That's a good call. The real players hated Rudy. Really? Why was it like? I guess so because it wasn't to the story. Yeah, I know. Like Rudy didn't actually do the sack. I think at the end or whatever, right? Because that made it more a better movie. But I mean the speech he gave to the janitor I thought was great. I just love Rudy. The whole Rudy chant. That's one of the greatest sports movies ever. I love it. Every time I watch it, I get goosebumps. Love that movie. I think that's my favorite football movie ever. Vince Vaughn, by the way, those of you that are not aware, Vince Vaughn was the quarterback in Rudy. Go back and watch it. You're going to be like, oh, that's Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn was the quarterback. Let's see what we got here. How many wins do you think will end up next season? 6 or 7, Ben. I think it'll be 6 or 7. Giants draft Tua. Miami offers a 5, 18, and 26. Maybe that would be the smart play. Sure, Steve. Don't think that'll happen, but sure, if they did that, I don't think they're doing that though. I honestly don't. I could be wrong, but at the end of the day, if they took Tua, teams would also realize they need to trade a quarterback. So, maybe they would do it. I don't think so. I'd be shocked. Blindside was good. I've seen that a couple times. True story. Andrew Thomas is the only left tackle we have. Fleming and Gates at right tackle. How many right tackles do we need? Andrew Thomas, I would definitely be okay with taking him at 4, no doubt about it, or 6 or whatever if we were able to trade down. I don't understand why he's falling down mocks. I really don't. My mock today was, like I keep saying, was based on what I think the Giants will do, based on what I'm hearing, based on the combine Wirfs had. I wouldn't be upset with Wirfs. I think Wirfs is a really good prospect, but Andrew Thomas, I would not be upset at all with Andrew Thomas at 4 or 6 or whatever. Let's see what we got here. Heard the Giants could be interested. Sperm cell, man. Oh, sperm cell. What's going on there, Gavin? Thanks for popping in the stream. Top 3 Giants to have a breakout season this year. Okay, top 3 Giants to have a breakout season this year. I am going to go... All right, we're gonna do a little bit of both. We're going to do some on the offense. We're going to do some on the defense. I am going to go O'Shane Ximines. I think is a candidate to have a breakout year. I am going to go DeAndre Baker is a candidate, and I'm going to go Darius Slayton. And I know Darius Slayton had a good year last year. I could see him having a mega year. So I will say those 3. I would say DeAndre Baker, O'Shane Ximines, and Slayton. DeAndre, yeah. Miami. Yeah, no, Steve. Yeah, I mean, I would do that in a second. It's not going to happen, though. Popular take, please read. With anyone with a brain, if we want offensive tackle, we should draft Andrew Thomas than any others because he will protect DJ's blind side. Yeah, I mean, if you think he's the best left tackle, you take him. If they think Jedrick Wills is a better potential left tackle, you take him. But Andrew Thomas, obviously a proven left tackle. Wills protected to his blind side. So there's the argument. Be safe. Danny, man, I appreciate that, man. What's going on, man? What's going on there, Mustard Bus? He says, what do you think of, what was the question? I think Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, as crazy as it sounds, you guys didn't really overpay. Guy, $21 million a year, you guys didn't really overpay. It's an okay signing. Do I think you guys are going to go anywhere this year? If I'm being honest, no. But you guys are in a rebuild phase, and he's kind of a stopgap quarterback, I guess. You know, I don't think you guys are going to be competing to win the division, but yeah, I think the Bridgewater signing was fine. I mean, by today's standards, $21 million is cheap. Bring back Beckham. Don't bank on it. I like Julian Love too. I'm a big fan of Julian Love. How many yards and TDs for Dimes this year? I'll go 4,100 yards and 27 touchdowns. 28 touchdowns. 4,100 yards, 28 touchdowns for Danny Dimes. Gordon Gecko, man, thanks so much, man, for the love. I really appreciate that. He says, Hernandez to center, Pinky to lip. Hernandez to center. I think we got to give him another year at the right guard and see how he plays, and hopefully he plays a lot better. But it's an option to potentially move him to center in the future. But I think we got to give him another year at the guard. I did not like his regression last year, though. That I will say. At the left guard, rather. I said right guard, at the left guard. So, we'll see, man. But, yeah, I think he's going to be the guard this year, for sure. I think they could draft the center. Raymond, man, thanks so much for the $5 donation. He says, we take 2 at 4, forcing Miami to trade 5 and 33 like an Eli trade. Also, mark my word, Monday Night Football, Bucs at Giants, Eli inducted into the Ring of Honor that night. Yeah, or they could do it the night that they play the Cleveland Browns, so Odell Beckham could see it. You know, one or the other. Yeah, that makes sense, though. Obviously, Eli, let's be fair, is going to the Hall of Fame in large part due to the fact that he beat Tom Brady twice. So that would be pretty fitting for sure. Obviously, Tom Brady has a lot of respect for Eli. Center's a very important position, no doubt about it. Should we get rid of Tate? I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to cost us a dead cap of not this year. I think next year they get rid of Tate. I don't think this year. Plus, he showed he had pretty good chemistry with Daniel Jones. I don't think they're going to trade Tate this year. I'd be surprised. Independent, thank you so much for the $2 donation. And I don't think many teams are going to want his contract. What was the best cheap contract, Core, Toyolo, or Ebner? Huh. Okay. That's a good question. I mean, Ebner and Core, obviously, they're going to help on special teams. Core, I think, made $2 million. Ebner, I think, made around the same. Toyolo made I want to say about 3. I actually may say Mayo might have been the best cheap contract, but of those 3, listen, man, I love special teams, but I also like that blocking tight end, and he's known for run blocking. I love all 3 of them, to be honest with you, but if I had to pick one, I go Toyola. I like Toyola, but the thing is, Toyola's contract was more than 1 year, but they could cut him with no dead cap hit. But I like the fact that you're bringing in a run blocking tight end, a guy that's known for specializing in that, being that I want to run the football. So you bring him in 2 tight end sets. I'll go Toyola. But I think both those special teams players are going to have big contributions. Chris, rip out the chest. Not tonight. Not tonight. That's if I go on another streaming service. I don't do that on YouTube. Did Odell ever say anything about Eli's retirement? Not that I could remember. I mean, he definitely wasn't at the ceremony, but not that I could remember. I could be wrong, but I don't remember anything. Why do fans not want to move on from Tate right now? I'd move on from Tate, but I'm just being realistic. Rob, slopping my Bronco Rob. I don't think we're gonna be able to trade him. I don't. Who's gonna take a $10 million contract for a receiver who's over 30? And if you cut him, it's $7 million. I know he doesn't get the guaranteed money, but you still take the dead cap. And I'm pretty sure I did research on this, so I'd wait another year. If you could trade him, but I don't think anybody's taking him. Maybe at the deadline, not before the season. Does everyone want OBJ? I guess people in the chat can answer that. You were the best podcaster. You should be on ESPN. I really appreciate that, Lee, man. Thank you very much. Barkley extension, 5 years, $85 million, $44 million. Do it right now. Do it right now. If he can prove he's healthy this year, do it right now. After the season, pen to paper, sign him up. If you get him at $17 million a year, run to the bank and get it done. I think he's going to get at least 18, but get it done. I appreciate that, John. Thank you very much. Tate for a future 7. If you get rid of the contract, if we're out of it mid-season, do it. Oh, you meant why do fans want to move on from him right now? Yeah, well, I kind of look at it like this. I'm like, if you could get a price for him, sure, but I don't see the rush of getting because of that. You're not going to get anything for him. So I don't want to cut him. It's going to be a $7 million hit. Tate showed that he was good, when given the opportunity with Jones. So I'm with you. I would let him play another year. And if you plan on cutting him the following year and we're 2-6 or 2-5 at the deadline, and a team has any interest in him, then trade him. But yeah, this year going in, I'm rolling with Tate. You're not gonna get what you'd want for him. So keep him. I mean, you need Daniel Jones to have people to throw to. So yeah, I would keep him to start the season. Trade Ingram. Yeah, I'd be complete. If the price is right, I'm open to trading Ingram because, like I said, I don't think he's in the long-term plans, and I think his value is, even though it's not very high, it's only going to get lower as it approaches him becoming a free agent. So, yeah, if you could trade him, absolutely. And again, much like Tate, I don't think it would be a viable possibility until in season. Let's see what we got. If OBJ never got traded, do you think Danny Dimes would have won Rookie of the Year? I don't know, man. I don't know. You could argue that the offensive line would have been even worse. Well, probably. They didn't get the offense. They got the offensive lineman for Vernon. I don't know. I think long term it was the right trade. Maybe last year they would have won an extra game or two, but I think long term it was the right move. I really do. That's just my opinion. So maybe would have won Rookie of the Year. But at the end of the day, I don't care about awards. I could care less. I care about wins and losses, and I think long term the Giants are setting the team up the right way for wins and losses for a 5 or 6 year stretch. I think it was the right trade to make when they made it, when they could get something for him. I don't think he was in the Giants' long term plans. So I'm not against the trade. I love Eli, but he wasn't the same at the end. No, of course not. Nobody is. Tom Brady's not the same. I mean, nobody is. The difference is guys like Tom Brady and Drew Brees had offensive lines. Eli Manning did not. Not to say he's on that level, but I'm saying they were supported when they started to regress. Eli wasn't. Rudy, man, thank you so much, man, for the love, man. I really appreciate that $2 donation. He says, thank you for these live streams, keeping us sane, man. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much, man. You guys keep me sane. You guys keep me sane, Rudy. I don't have any contact outside other than on the phone, texting. I'm trying to stay safe myself, so I appreciate all you guys popping in, showing love, hitting the thumbs up, talking Giants, give me great, questions to answer. So thank you guys. Dexter, I like Dexter Lawrence. Absolutely. Would you be upset if the Giants draft a guard instead of a tackle? Yes. I much prefer a tackle. And a lot of people think Wirfs will be a guard, so I definitely get why people wouldn't want Wirfs, why they'd rather have Will. I mean, Wirfs is going to be a tackle to start the year next year, but a lot of people project he'd be a better guard. So I get it, but what I've read, the Giants like Wirfs, so that's why I had him going there. So we'll see. We'll see if the Giants feel like he'd be a tackle. But yeah, I'd much rather a tackle than a guard. Let's see what we got. Gettleman needs to be smacked. Happy Valentine. Are you going to Eli jersey retirement? I'm definitely going. Yeah, Dennis. I plan on going to 2. I'm hoping 2 this year. I'm definitely going to 1. I'm hoping to go to 2 this year. And one of them, I would love to go to that game. Yes, 100%. Yeah, my favorite athlete ever. I say it all the time. Not just football player, anything. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to his Canton retirement when he gets in, which will be hopefully sooner than later. And I'd love to go to that game. Philly 500! What is going on, Philly? I had Philly on the channel the other day. I love Philly 500, my favorite Eagles video maker. If you guys have not done so, go on over to Philly 500's channel. Show him some love. He's hysterical, and he does give out a lot of good news about the Philadelphia Eagles. I know it's our enemy, but he's a really good guy, and I'd love to have him back on the channel. $5 donation. He says I'm not gonna sing it. I can't sing like you, Philly. The entertainer knows that dolphin love. I got no voice. Is taboo. Hashtag Bad Dog Vanessa. Hashtag Dallas still stinks. And we could both agree on that, Philly, that that's one thing we could all agree on. Eagles fans, Giants fans, we both think the Cowboys stink. So that's one thing we could definitely agree on. But thank you so much for the love, man. I really appreciate that. Am I on Venmo? I do not have a Venmo. No, I do not. But I appreciate you asking, John B. What's up there, Run? We should play a lot more press coverage because we have 2 physical cornerbacks in Bradbury and Baker. I think you're gonna see a lot more press coverage this year. I think last year Giants fans say all the time we had too much zone coverage. So I'm with you, man. I think you're gonna see more press coverage this year. Don't quit. I got no voice, Big Daddy. What's going on there, Lestat Walton? Mr. Clocks, Chris, I have to say thanks. I work in a hospital front and center on COVID. I am camping out home when not at work. Can't chat sports. You help me chill and distract. Thanks, pal. Mr. Clocks, man. You guys, like I said, man, you guys are helping me just as much as I'm helping you. So, yeah, man, thank you. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully, especially you being in a hospital, hopefully everybody is being safe out there, making sure you're washing your hands, being diligent, not taking this for granted because you shouldn't. Like I said from the beginning, when I made that video, it's better to be safe than sorry. And, if it means that you got to be in the house for 3 months until they get this, where it should be, that's the approach you should take. So, thank you for the love, man. I appreciate it. We need a safety in the draft if we want to play press coverage. And, yeah, I would like a safety. Whether it's in the 2nd or 3rd round, I'd like a safety. McCarthy is OB. Yes, he is. Any word on Corey Coleman? Nothing that I've heard. Coleman's obviously a free agent, and I've said countless times that I'd like Coleman back on a 1-year deal if possible. But yeah, no word on Coleman yet. We'll see. I'd like him back though on a 1-year deal. I'd probably get him cheap coming off an injury. Let's see. We got John Letourneau in the house. Would you be shocked if the Eagles move on from Ertz? I know that Philly has talked about that. He talked about that on my show. He made a video about that. Philly 500 wants to move on from Ertz. I want to move on from Ingram for the same reason. I think we're both forward thinking, and we're not. We're about the team. We're not about the player. And I don't know your team as well as he does, but I think the thinking there behind Philly and I guess Eagles fans that believe that is that Ertz is not going to be in the long-term plans, and if they could get something for him now, they should. So I don't know enough about the Eagles to fully comment on that and give you my honest opinion. But I know that obviously you got Goddard. You drafted him in the 1st round a couple of years ago. And supposedly from what Philly told me, Ertz was trying to work on a contract extension. And Ertz said no to being the highest paid tight end in the sport. So if that is all true, if you get something for Ertz, I would look to do it. Let's see what we got here. Giants need one veteran wide receiver for depth. AJ Moore. I mean, I think we need. I think we need young receivers. I think we have the veteran receivers, but I think we draft one in the 3rd or 4th round. Mark Stewart, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, "Would you be surprised if the Giants drafted?" No, not at all. No. I'd be surprised if they didn't. If we're talking in the first 2 rounds, you'll see me pissed off if they don't in the first 2 rounds. How do you become a member? Thank you for asking. If you go on my channel, you don't do it now, but there's like a join button next to the subscribe button. You click it, and one thing I said, once a month, just so I feel like people who support my channel like that, I should do something. I'm gonna do a private stream with a giveaway, 2-hour stream giveaway. It'll be a fitted hat, and it'll just be talking about people giving me, just talking about my channel or the Giants or whatever, and things they'd like to see on the channel, because I'd like, you guys to have input in my content. Let's see what we got here. Sign Antonio Brown. I don't see it happening. The Giants are not going to bring in a guy like Antonio Brown. They're all about the locker room culture. So, to me, Antonio Brown doesn't make a lot of sense. What position would you play if you were in the NFL, not taking contracts into consideration? Not taking contracts into consideration? I'd be the backup quarterback. I mean, I still get paid a couple of $1 million. I get my clipboard. I get front row seats every game. I don't got to get killed. I'm taking the backup quarterback. But no, if we're putting injuries aside and everything else, I probably quarterback. Let's see what we got here. What's going on, David, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. I'm winning that hat. Tana, let's get a game going, bro. Let's get a game going? What do you mean, let's get a game going? Pertaining to what? Let's see what we got here. You would be our starting left tackle, David said. Yeah. Sorry, just joined. What's going on, man? What are you apologizing for, man? NFL DNA. In your opinion, why did Gettleman get Leonard Williams in the first place? I personally think, hey, Chris, 7th rounder, undrafted free agent, Richie. I think we could definitely look into the later rounds for a fullback, 100%. People have talked about that in the past as well, yes. And a long snapper. People forget Zach Diassi. I think he's gone, so we need a long snapper. In your opinion, why did Gettleman get Leonard Williams in the first place? In my honest opinion, I think he got Leonard Williams to maybe prove to the Giants that this could be a win. I don't know, to be completely honest with you. The only rational thinking I could have behind it, one, it gave him the ability to franchise tag him, but that's not really a benefit. The other thing I could think of is that maybe he felt like he could try to save Patton his job. Maybe he thought they were going to lose their jobs, and if they could finish with 5 or 6 more wins, they'd be brought back. But other than that, the trade didn't make any sense, and I'm not happy about the trade. I tried to at least be positive about it and say Leonard Williams could bring some good things to us, but the trade was a bad trade. I like Leonard Williams as a player. It was a bad trade. Gordon, man, thanks so much for the love, man. I really appreciate that. $10 donation. He says, I think everyone can just tell listening that Chris is a good guy and has a great show. Let's all tonight share his show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and text a friend everywhere. Let's promote our boy, man. Gordon, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. And thank you to everybody who tunes into these. I know, it's not always going to be as packed. You don't have free agency, but I'm just trying to, talk sports with you guys, like I said, because I know you guys want to talk sports. I want to talk sports, and we don't got a lot of people to talk to. So I'm trying to help you guys out and trying to help myself out. So thank you for the love, man. I really appreciate that. Mercedes-Benz in the chat. What's going on, my man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. Are there any players that are distractions like Janoris Jenkins? I don't think so, independent. I mean, you look around this Giants roster right now, it's all young players, and the veterans seem to be good locker room guys, like guys that the Giants brought in. Golden Tate, I don't think he's going to be a guy that causes any distractions, even though he did display that he, I remember last year's first game, he wasn't happy with the way he was being used, but he didn't say anything crazy. No, I really don't. I really don't think we have any guys that are going to cause any kind of fuss in the locker room. I think that's what they tried to do. I think they did a good job at that. I appreciate that, Jacob, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. Stand up, Josh Satori. Thank you for being here. Chris, you, Philly, and Bad Dog are basically saving me from going insane with this whole situation. Thank you. Jake C., thank you. And I'll tell you what, man, I don't know how Philly, I love Philly 500, but I don't know how Philly 500 is saving you from going insane, because every time I talk to Philly 500, I feel like I'm going insane. But I love Philly, but I'm just kidding. Let's see what we got here. Leonard Williams might hold out to be a distraction. I hope not, Ezra. I don't think he will, because he's getting paid $17 million. He's getting paid $17 million. You play in the guaranteed $17 million. You come back, the salary cap goes up 15%. You're good to go. I don't think he's going to hold out. I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play on that. Philly's the man. I'm just kidding with him. What's up there, Camps? Thanks for popping into the stream. Yeah, man says, hey, Chris, half 1 in the morning, want to leave you with this. Isaiah Simmons will be better than Chase Young. If I had money, I would bet on it. P.S. Gamble responsible, kid. We'll see. I think a lot of it has to do with the defense that he gets put in, and, for both of them. But we'll see. I think they're both going to be really good pros. Oh, man. Philly with the $5. What's up, Camps? Philly with a $5 donation. He says, I'm here to drive you all crazy. He is a dingbat. Philly, man, thanks for the love, man. Go on over there and subscribe to him. Biggest steal that Gettleman has had in the draft with the Giants. Okay, biggest steal that Gettleman has had in the draft with the Giants. To me, it's got to be Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton was a 5th-round pick, a comp pick at that, so the back end of the 5th round. It's got to be Darius Slayton. Yeah, I mean, he's had a couple of other good late picks, but it's that one. Julian Love was a really good pick last year. It's got to be Darius Slayton. Got to be. Good stream. Watch the rest tomorrow. All right, yeah, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate it. Either keep Golden or draft Bond. I would draft Bond over keeping Golden. I would keep Bond. Let's see what we got here. Should we trade for a receiver? No. I don't see the point in doing that. I mean, like I've said all along, there's a very deep wide receiver class. Yes, we could. Of course, we could always use a wide receiver. We could use a supreme talent wide receiver, but no, we're not. We're thinking long term here, guys, and we're trying to build through the draft. Try to draft your wide receiver. It's a rich wide receiver draft. I was going based off value DNA, but if Daniel Jones turns out to be one of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the league, you could say that. You could definitely at least make that argument. But Slayton being a 5th-round pick, I think, is just too much value there to say, at least at this point in time, that he wasn't the best pick. Oh, man, thank you so much, man. Gordon Gecko, for becoming a member of the channel. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. And Josh Latore with a $5 donation. He says, I'm so happy with this coronavirus. Made UFC 249 get moved from Barclays. And, of course, I had tickets to go. Oh, man. That sucks. So what happened with the UFC? They still did it, right? But now they're playing in it. They're not playing, but they're fighting. I don't think talking about UFC, you should ever use the word playing. They're fighting in an empty arena, right? That's what happened. So I'm hoping you got reimbursed. You got your money back, right? Let's see what we got here. Simmons round 1, Winfield Jr. round 2. That's what Phrase wants. Welcome to the big members club. Yeah, man. Thank you for joining it, man. I appreciate it. The Entertainer, would you do a video on the Giants, Eagles, and their history just so you could be angry? No. No. I'm not trying to get pissed off. No. People have PTSD from OBJ. We didn't win our Super Bowls with a top 3 flashy receiver. Yeah, Jake. And one thing I will. The first 2 we didn't have any supreme wide receiver. The last 2, yeah, we have very good wide. Plaxico was a very good wide receiver. Was he top 3, top 5? No, but he was very good. Toomer was still good. He was, obviously older. And then the second time, of course, Cruz was unbelievable. But Cruz was undrafted. Nix was very good. Top 10, 15 receiver that year, no doubt about it. We had one of the best receiving corps in the sport. But maybe the best. I mean, that receiving corps was dynamic. Mario Manningham was great, too, as a number 3. But we're not there yet. We're not at the point, in my opinion, where we should be thinking about wide receiver. We're not. I hate to say it. Philly 500, you hear John Letourneau, you hear all these Eagle fans saying wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. We're not at that point yet. They've got their other holes sewed up. They have a much better offensive line than us. They have a much better defense than us. We've got to fill those first, then worry about the wide receiver. That's my opinion. I think the offensive line and the defense is much more important before you start bringing in supremely talented wide receivers. Let's see what we got here. What do you think about what? What do you think? Stand up, Juliana. Thanks for popping in the stream. Slay versus Slayton. Who you got? Slayton. I'm a Giants fan. Does a bear shit in the woods? Bigger steal, Slayton or Conley? I got to say Slayton right now. I mean, I like Conley. But, Conley only played, 3 games? I got to say Slayton right now. Conley definitely has potential. We have a much better... Yeah. We'll talk in a year, Philly. We'll talk in a year. Okay? Okay? What do you think the Chargers do with the 6th pick? They don't have the first pick, but I guess you mean with their first pick. I think the Chargers are taking a quarterback. I know some people have said that maybe they could take Isaiah Simmons, maybe they could take a tackle. Chargers got to take a quarterback. I mean, here's the reasoning. You don't know where you're going to end up the year after this, right? Right now you pick at 6. Who knows where you're going to end up? What if you draft Isaiah Simmons and Tyrod Taylor mans the 40, plays pretty well, you win 9 or 10 games. That's great. But then next year you're picking at the back end of the draft. You're not going to get your quarterback. You're in a position right now to take your quarterback at number 6. Tyrod Taylor's not your guy. Got to take a quarterback. You got Herbert sitting there. You got to take him. I think they're going to end up with Herbert. Stand up. Keep up the good content. I really appreciate that, Ben Clark. Thank you very much. Yeah, Philly has insane fan. Yes, he does. Zon? John B. I like Zon. Is Barkley a legend? Too early to say he's a legend, but even Eagle fans, I think, would agree that Saquon Barkley is as talented as they come. And if he could stay healthy and you could fix this offensive line, I say it all the time, if you could fix this offensive line and Barkley stays healthy, it's literally going to be a cheat code. It's going to be like, remember, I mean, for all the old guys in here, remember when you were playing Tecmo football on Nintendo and you played with the Raiders? And you had Bo Jackson, and Bo Jackson was running circles around everybody. That will be Saquon Barkley if you can fix this offensive line. It will literally be a cheat code. Like, referees will be throwing penalty flags just because it just looks illegal for how good the guy's running. But they need to get an offensive line to be able to do that. But Saquon Barkley is incredibly talented. Let's see what we got here. Barkley's definitely Barkley's a freak. How about Jones cleaning up his fumbles despite his mentors leaving last year? Independent outsider. I mean, yeah. I mean that's what I said earlier in the stream. To me, that's the thing I'm looking at more than anything this year. I know a lot of people are going to be looking at the defense. I'm looking at the defense. I want the defense to get a lot better. But year 2 of Daniel Jones is so important in evaluating a rookie quarterback. And that, to me, is the most important thing this offseason. How does he get at pre-snap adjustments and how does he get at pocket awareness? Got to fix that. And he's got a year to do it. So that, to me, is the most important thing of this upcoming season, is Daniel Jones and his progression. What's going on, Roach? Thanks for popping in the stream. What's up, Entertainer? I forgot you online. What's going on, MYG31? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. He's got a channel over there, too. Go check him out, Giants fan. How would you feel about McKinney or Delpit second round? I love, if we had an extra second round pick, I'm all for it. But I do think we have more pressing needs than a safety. But if we were able to trade down and get an extra second round pick, I would love Delpit. Would love him. I like him a lot. Really big safety. Let's see what we got here. Even though Chris is my father, there's a good chance Saquon could be my father. Derrick Henry is a beast. We shall see what Barkley does. Derrick Henry's an animal. Derrick Henry's an animal. I trust Coach. Yeah, I mean, I think Joe Judge. One thing I think you can't argue about the New York Giants right now this offseason that I think it's as clear as day to me. This is the most organized I've seen the New York Giants in forever. I mean that. You could just tell from the acquisitions they brought in, from the coaches they brought in, everybody is connected to somebody. One thing you say about Joe Judge must have went into that interview with 10 pages worth of a plan, and there goes my green screen. He must have went into that interview with like a novel's worth of a plan because everything was well thought out. Every coach he brought in here knows somebody else. He has connections to everybody, and the players they brought in free agency have connections to everybody. The way that they orchestrated these contracts set them up for the future. This was very well planned out. The Giants knew exactly what they were going to do, and they carried it out. They knew the players they were going to bring in, and they brought them in. And I'm sure they're going to know the players they're going to draft. The Giants have a plan. We just got to hope it works out. Chris, how about we do a naked... Yeah, I think a naked live stream would be a good idea. I think... No, I'd probably get kicked off YouTube. It's going to be hard to pass up on Simmons if he is available. I understand, James. I completely understand why people would be against that, man. Oh, thank you so much, man, Gordon Gecko, for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. He says, under the new system on offense and defense, in your gut feeling, who will be better, worse, or the same? Try to hit as many starters as you can. That's a good question. Okay. Under the new system on okay. Who do I think will be better? All right, we'll start with who do I think will be better. Love is going to be better because anybody that's versatile, I think is going. I think Carter. I think Carter can take a huge jump in the system if they use him the right way. Because Carter, you could use it. He showed it at the end of the year. Remember, they were bringing Carter up to the line of scrimmage. He's good in coverage. You can use him as an inside linebacker. You can move him around to the edge. You can move him up at the line of scrimmage. I think Carter could take a big step up. I think Julian Love can be used very well. I think DeAndre Baker's going to be used much better because they're not going to be using him so much in zone. Zimenez, I like too. I think Zimenez could play up at the line of scrimmage as well as in the 3-4 alignment from the outside linebacker. I'm looking at this defense right now. I can't really think of a guy that I think is going to be worse. Maybe some guys will be status quo. They're all young. I think a lot of them will get better with time. But I do think some guys are going to benefit from it. Jabril Peppers is another one. He's a very versatile player. Maybe I'm too optimistic, but I don't really see many negatives on the defensive side of the football from this new system. I think with the coaching staff, they should only get better. As far, maybe, I hate to say this because I don't want to be pessimistic and knock the signing. If I had to pick out one guy on the defense that may not fit it, it might be one of our signings, and I hope I'm wrong because he's not really a coverage guy. He's a guy that's kind of a guy that's in the box against the run, Blake Martinez. If you're saying I have to pick somebody, but he does have experience with Patrick Graham. He played good with Patrick Graham. So I think there's positivity with this defense. I'm not saying they're going to be a great defense, but I don't really see many guys taking a step back in this new system. As far as the offense goes, if I'm being fair, I think some of the wide receivers could take a step back. I don't think Golden Tate fits this system. I don't think Sterling Shepard necessarily fits this system. I think Slayton does. So I think Slayton can take a step up. Maybe one of those two. Maybe he doesn't fit it so well because it's more vertical passing routes. Barkley, I think, is going to fit it. Obviously, it fits any system. It don't matter. But yeah, that would be my answer. Maybe Tate, maybe Shepard doesn't fit it so well, but I think Slayton fits it very well. That's the best I could answer it, man. Gordon, thank you so much for love. And I think Ingram fits it very well, too, if he could stay healthy. Let's see who we got here. And thank you so much, Erica Steele, with the $2 donation with the Dolphins. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, man, for the love, man. I really appreciate it. How you doing, man? Good evening, Mr. Chris. Good evening, Mr. Senorita. I'm glad to see you in the chat. Yeah, I think Ingram fits the system well, if he could stay healthy. You go back, you look at this, the Air Coryell. It's obviously built around the Chargers when they first came out, and Chris Senorita, Senor knows about that better than anybody. They obviously had Winslow, who was the first real dynamic pass catching tight end. Witten for years played very well with it. It's definitely a tight end friendly system, and Ingram is a great pass catcher. Well, I shouldn't say that. He's a very athletic guy that can get open. Sometimes he drops too many balls, but I do think Ingram will play well in this system, at least in terms of catching, if he can stay on the field. How many coverage linebackers do we have? One, and that's if they use him as a middle linebacker, and that's Lorenzo Carter. I think Lorenzo Carter could be a pretty solid coverage linebacker. The rest, Martinez maybe could be adequate if you go back and look at his film from 2 years ago with Patrick Graham. Hopefully, that's what we got to hope. But nobody's like a great coverage linebacker on this team. What do you think? What do you think about the edge, Terrell Lewis, in the second round? I like Bourne more, but yeah, Bourne's my guy. I would love Bourne. If we're going edge in the second round, I want Matos or Bourne. I'm hoping one of them falls to us. But everything's going to be, like I said, predicated on what we do in the first. Let's talk NASCAR. Eric is here. I know nothing about NASCAR. I don't get, I'm not trying to knock it. I'm sure some people in here like NASCAR. I don't get NASCAR. I don't. It's you're just driving around in a circle for 500 laps. I don't get it. So I can't talk NASCAR. I'm sorry. NFC East predictions. NFC East predictions. I am going to go Eagles 1, Cowboys 2, Giants 3, Redskins 4. That's my NFC East predictions. Same as last year, right? Well, no, same as last year. But I hope I'm wrong. John Smith, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. I really appreciate that. He says, gun to your head, Slayton over under 1,100 yards next year. Oh, man. God, I think Slayton's going to have a big year. I've expressed that. A lot of it's going to have to do, what we do in the draft and what the roles are going to be. If I'm a bet man, I'm gonna go slightly under. I think he's gonna have between 1,000 and 1,100, but I wouldn't be shocked if he exceeds that. I'll go slightly under. I'll play it safe. I'll go with about 1050, 1030 to 1050. I'll go 9 touchdowns. I think he's gonna have a big year, but I'll go slightly under the 1,100. But I think he's gonna have a big year. You should be on Good Morning Football. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Beastie Boys, because you can't, you won't, and you don't stop. That's kind of like you, Vance, with the razor blade. Every time you come into my stream, you shave it. I feel like you never grow any facial hair. I feel like you're just constantly shaving. Who's your favorite player ever? Eli Manning. You know, I'm a Giants fan. I grew up in that era. Eli Manning. Let's see what we got here. Would Clowney sign with the Giants on a one-year deal? I think Clowney's going to have to sign somewhere on a one-year deal. But the only way I talked about this earlier in the stream. The only way, over under 40 touchdowns, under. The only way that Clowney could sign here, we would have to rescind the tag on Leonard Williams. I don't think the Giants are going to do that. That's the only way it could happen. We'd have to let Leonard Williams walk. Let's see what we got here. Plaxico Bears just bought a new Glock 9mm. I believe it. And hopefully he's not wearing sweatpants. And what the good thing, I think it happened in a strip club, right? So the good thing is he won't shoot himself in a strip club again because they're all closed. So at least that's the case. But, you know, I probably shouldn't be buying guns. He doesn't even know how to handle them. Let's see what we got here. Been watching NASCAR for like 20 years. Well, there you go, Erica Steele. Chris, would you rather take an edge or inside linebacker in the second round if we end up taking a tackle in the first? It depends on what middle linebacker's there. You know, I kind of want to take best available player. If Patrick Queen's there, I'm thinking about it. You know, it depends on who's there. Any news on Golden? Nothing that I've heard as of yet. You know, all I heard is what I reported on yesterday by Jordan Rannon. I haven't seen any new news on that. That the Giants were still monitoring the situation. I still think that's a possibility. And like I said in that video, you know, I got it from I think it's Alex Wilson on Twitter. You know, it's possible that they're waiting to extend Williams to free up some cap space. So I thought that was a good idea that he came up with. So that may be the case. But if they keep the team as it is now, they're not bringing Marcus Golden back. I appreciate that, Leo Womack. Thank you very much. Never tuck your gun in your sweatpants. Yeah, not if it's the gun, you know, that you're talking about. Did you like the Bradbury signing contract? Yes. I thought it was a brilliant signing. It's only 3 years. You got the second best cornerback. A lot of people look at the per year. I don't look at that. I look at the guaranteed money and I look at the amount of years. I would rather overpay a guy on a 2 or 3 year contract than pay a guy his proper cost on a 5-year contract. Because in the NFL you have injuries. One second. In the NFL, you have injuries. I don't want to commit 5 years to a player. I just don't, unless you have to. You know, when you're signing a premier free agent, you have to. But they got a guy that was close to a premier free agent in the prime of his career on a 3-year deal. I don't see a loss in this move. I was shocked when I went on Twitter and I saw Giants fans bitching about the move. I was shocked. But you know what it is? I think Giants fans are so used to being negative that if they see any reason to bash Gettleman or bash the Giants, they're going to do it. There was no reason to bash the Giants about that move. That was a good move. They got, as far as I'm concerned, they got him for under market value because I thought Bradbury was going to get at least 4 or 5 years. I thought it was a great signing. Damian Jackson, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, Cole Baby Scoop the Poop Poop to do YouTube. I don't know who that is, but I will look into it. Cole Baby Scoop the Poop Poop to do YouTube. I don't know if you're asking about a collaboration, but I guess I'll look into that. If we sign Golden, any chance we draft Simmons? I honestly don't think Golden has anything to do with whether we draft Simmons or not. They play a different position. If we're going to draft Simmons, we're going to draft Simmons. Now, you could argue, I guess they'd move Carter to the inside linebacker, maybe if they brought in Golden, but I don't think it would have much of a, you know, of an effect of whether or not we're going to draft Simmons. Who should we sign from the? To be honest, I watched the XFL for 1 week and then I had work. I didn't get to watch the XFL much, so I can't really give you an answer on that one. Do you think we get a receiver in the second round? No. I personally think they'll wait till the 3rd or the 4th. Unless, like I said, they trade down and get an extra second round pick. Because we still get a top O-lineman in the second round if we select Simmons with the... What's going on, Todd DeMont? How you doing, buddy? What's going on, Big Bang 75? Thanks for everybody popping in. I'll probably live... when did I don't even remember. I started at 8:20. I'll probably go to 11. You know, I enjoy talking with you guys. One thing I want to let you guys know, just because I'm trying to do things different, you know, different times of the day, I'm going to start a midday call-in show because I know a lot of people are home, like myself, with this virus and everything else. So I'm going to start a midday call-in show. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. See if people enjoy it. See if people tune in. Probably around, I don't know, 1, 2. Do it for like 2 hours. 1 to 3, maybe 2 to 4, and do that 2 or 3 days a week. And I'll do these night Q&As probably 2 or 3 days a week as well. So, along with giving you guys videos whenever I can. Let's see what we got here. No, we don't do that on this channel. Trillion Dollar Barber. We don't do that. We don't do that. And John Greer, man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Let's see what we got. I just hit the thumbs up and do the same swim with my man, Real New York Giants Mafia. What's going on, buddy? With a trade with the Dolphins, it's realistic we get Simmons, Wills, Cushenberry. Imagine. Yeah, I mean that'd be great. If we got Simmons, well, no, but we're not getting. The Dolphins ain't giving us multiple first-round picks. They're not. It's only one slot. You're gonna get in my opinion, you'll get a second-round pick. You'll get a second-round pick if you move down from 4 to 5. I really don't think they'd even give up the 26th. I could be wrong, but you go back and look at history. The Trubisky trade, the Bears moved up from 3 to 2, which should be a higher price. They didn't give up anywhere near that, so I don't think so. How you doing tonight, William? Man, I'm doing good, man. How you doing? Word says Tana. Who is your favorite all-time Giants wide receiver? I gotta go on Monty Toomer. I'll go on Monty Toomer. It's either Toomer or Cruz for me, but I'm gonna go on Monty Toomer. Yeah. 352 watching. Let's get 352 likes. I appreciate everybody for being here. I hope everybody is enjoying their Saturday night, and I hope if you haven't done so, subscribe, ring the bell. But most importantly, I hope everybody's staying safe out there. In your opinion, do you think Wirfs is the best offensive lineman in the draft? Do you think Becton is the better choice? I do not think Becton's the better choice, and I know a lot of Giants fans do. I would prefer Wills. I would prefer Wills to Becton. Yeah. Becton has a high ceiling, though. But I like both of them. I'm not going to cry if we get either one. And at the end of the day, the Giants are going to choose who they think is the best. But I would rather have Wills than Becton. Love the next Mahomes. I think that's pushing it. A couple things you got to think about with Mahomes. First off, Mahomes is a freak. I mean, some of the throws you see that guy make, it's Aaron Rodgers-like, right? When Aaron Rodgers first came in the league, my jaw used to drop. It's the same thing with Pat Mahomes. But the other thing you got to factor in with Pat Mahomes has Andy frickin' Reid. Now, granted, if Love gets Belichick and the Patriots, they've done pretty well there themselves. But, I mean, Pat Mahomes is in a perfect situation. Pat Mahomes is just a better quarterback. So, no. But I do like Love. I've said that several times in my mocks. I do like Love. Do I prefer Wirfs or Wills? I think the Giants prefer Wirfs. I think I would... I change every day. They're like equal to me. I like both of them a lot. A lot of people have told me to watch the film. I watched it. And, I get the point that people are trying to make with Wills. And Wills is definitely more of a defined tackle for most people here. So I definitely could get the point with Wills. Some of his plays are Mahomes-like. That is fair to say. They are. Let's see what we got. Afghanistan busting out the old school Kid Rock. 350 watching, only 171 likes. I appreciate that, Ben Clark. Thank you very much. Mark Bavaro, greatest tight end in New York football Giants. You're not going to hear me argue that. There was a lot of, since I've been watching the Giants, there's been a lot of great Giant tight ends, but I'm with you. Bavaro's got to be number one. Shockey was great, but it was short-lived. Bavaro's number one. It's crazy that Andrew Thomas's name is still stuck under the rug, John Smith. I know. He's dropped down mock drafts significantly. Mahomes makes throws like Derek. Yeah, he does. It looks stupid. Phillip Rivers is the nearest quarter. Oh, God, Sonor, you're killing me. Sonor, I know you're a Chargers fan. I know you love Phillip Rivers, but come on, man. Did I hit 22K? Oh, wow. Thank you guys so much, man. Thank you very much. I guess I hit 22K. Alex Sports, thank you for letting me know. And, yeah, man, I think I hit 20K. I know when I hit 20K because I remember my goal going into the football season, and I shoot for the stars, was 20K at the end of the football season. And I hit 20K the day of the Super Bowl. So now it's been 2K since the day of the Super Bowl. That's what? I don't know. About a month and a half. So thank you guys for all the love and the support. I really appreciate that, man. And hopefully you guys keep watching and hitting the thumbs up, subscribing, and talking New York Giants, man. I appreciate it. And thank you guys. Thank you guys for the love, man. I really appreciate it, man. And BS just brought out a pit. Now you get me hungry. You can't bring out the pepperoni pizza, man. Pumpkin says, on the road to 100K, man. I appreciate that, man. I would love, if I could ever get one of those plaques, that would be, I'd have to show that in my videos. The 100K plaque, that would be incredible. Gordon Gecko, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, man. Keep up the vids, and we still watch. And I appreciate that, Ryan Ewer, man. Thank you very much. $1 Trillion Barber says much love. I appreciate that, man. Imagine the Chiefs. Imagine what the Chiefs would have got for D Hop. What do you mean? What they in a trade? You mean, or on the team? I mean, the D Hop on the Chiefs would be scary. True about the Dolphins, but with whatever else is in a trade with them, they can use that trade to back up to get the offensive tackles. That's true. That's true. Could we get a top O lineman in the second round if we select Simmons? No, we're not getting a top offensive tackle if we select Simmons. At best case scenario, we get the 6th best offensive tackle, and I don't think that's happening. When you look at the makeup of the first round right now, after some of the changes that took place, the extra picks that teams have, the quarterbacks that were gotten, the wide receiver that the Cardinals got, obviously with DeAndre Hopkins, they need to take a tackle. So I think 6, maybe even 7 go in the first round. But I think 6 is the number. So I think you're getting the 7th best tackle if you wait until the second round. At best, you might get the 8th best. So that's just my opinion on it. Guzzler, the Cowboys are interested in Snacks Harrison. Oh, God, you're pissing me off, GOAT. You're pissing me off. But that'd be a good pickup for them. Who is Snacks? Are you a Giants fan, Noah? Snacks Harrison. Big part of the New York Giants playoff run in 2016. Tackle isn't everything. Why are we ignoring center? I agree. We need to take a center potentially in the 2nd or 3rd round. You know, I don't think that obviously there's no tackle that's worthy of taking in the first. I mean, a center rather that's worthy of taking in the first. But I think you could definitely look at the center in the 2nd or the 3rd round for sure. What's going on, Sports Critic? What's going on, Amir? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. If we take a wide receiver in the first round, the structural integrity of my TV is getting tested. Yeah, mine too. You see us making any trades soon? Oh man, I don't. I really don't, William. I'd be surprised if we on the draft maybe, but not before the draft. On draft night we could certainly make a trade, but I don't see us making any trades in terms of players. Nelson, what's going on? Nelson with the $2 donation. He says, what's going on, my friend? What's going on, Nelson, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. I appreciate the love, buddy. You're the 200th like, and I'm glad that it grew, Amir. Amir, of course, we're not going to get into that, but if you haven't gone over there, go check out Amir's channel, The Sports Critic. He's a bit of a lunatic. Do you think Dave Gettleman will do the impossible in the draft? What's the impossible? DNA, what's the impossible? What do I think of Caden Smith? What's up, New York for Life 12, man? Thanks for being here, buddy. Caden Smith played great for the New York Giants last year, and from everything you heard last year, Gettleman was a big fan of him in the draft. They almost drafted him. I remember reading reports of that after the fact, and Giants grabbed him as soon as the Niners dropped him. Really good blocker. That's why he was drafted in the first place. He's a guy that could go out and catch balls, had chemistry with Daniel Jones. There's nothing not to like about the kid. I like Caden Smith a lot. Do you like college football? Yeah, not as much as the pros, but yes, I do like college football. You should try out for the NFL Network. If they're hiring, man, let me know. I'll definitely try out. So far, 203 likes. I appreciate the love, man. 6 for a Royce Freeman. Who says no? 6th? I wouldn't be opposed to a 6 because you're going to draft the running back in the 6th anyway. Do I like the center from the Wisconsin? Yes, I do. Tyler Biadasz? Yes, I do. Wouldn't mind him in the 3rd. I think early second might be a stretch at this point when you see where he's going in mocks. Oh, God. You see this guy? I love people like this. You know, first I see, do you like, man, these people, you know, like, do you think this guy, you know, he's getting a kick out of writing this? You got like a 14-year-old kid. Who in here sucks D? Do you like me? Like, well, yeah, okay. Goodbye. You'll never be on my channel again. Good for you. Now you're blocked. Your favorite Giants game of all time? Ben Clark, it might very well be the Giants-Niners NFC Championship game. That's up there. Eli took a beating in that game. Eli proved how much of a tough guy he was that game. I love that game. The Giants-Packers NFC Championship game's got to be up there too. But for me, it's got to be the Super Bowl 42 when we beat the undefeated Patriots. Christopher plays Andrew on NFL Sunday Ticket. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. Chris, do you have a favorite college team? Yes. It's the Notre Dame. I'm not, like I said, I'm not nearly as big into college as I am the pros, but I'm a Notre Dame fan when it comes to college football. John Dunham with the $5 donation. He says, glad Will Parks is a bird and Nelson Aguilar is gone. I appreciate the donation. I'm assuming maybe it came from Philly's channel. I appreciate it, man. And I was dying of laughter. I watched Philly's Aguilar video, and I've never seen a guy rag on a receiver more than Philly 500. Obviously, I don't watch the Eagles games as much as you guys do. Talking about drops every week, so I know Eagles fans are happy about that, and that was a wasted first-round draft pick. That's for sure. How long until you think we are competing for Super Bowls? 2 years at the earliest. I think 3 years is realistic. 2 years at the earliest. 3 years is realistic. So that's what I'm saying. Is Spencer Pulley still on the team? Yes, and he carries no dead cap hit. $2.75 million. I think this is his last year of the contract, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, he's got one more year after this. I think 1 more year after this. Could Michael Strahan come back? No. He's been retired for 10 years. No. I mean, do you mean as a football player? What do you mean? Do you mean on Regis and Michael and Kelly or whatever the show's called? Maybe he could come back to that. But if you mean as a defensive end in the National Football League, no, the answer is no. No. Giants or Eagles, better receivers? I'll go. I think the Eagles are going to draft one early, so I'll go Eagles after the draft. Chris, think we have a chance of trading the both with Miami and the Chargers for second-round picks? Well, we're not going to make two trades, but I think we could trade with one of them, yes. Thank you so much, man. John Dunham with the $5 donation. He says, well, my friend, go watch EDP 445 reaction. Nelson Aguilar is gone. He went crazy. I will have to check that. I will have to check that out after this, John. EDP always brings a laugh. And I have so many of my subscribers ask me to try to get EDP on the channel. I don't know if that'll ever happen. I've never talked with EDP. That is one guy. I mean, I'd have to warn people, that he's EDP. But I would love to have him on the channel. He is definitely a funny guy, and I will definitely check that out after this stream. What if we still, what if we win the Super Bowl next year? NFL DNA, what if we win the Super Bowl next year? I mean, you're probably going to see me act like an absolute lunatic and buffoon on stream if we ever won the Super Bowl, and it would be one of the best sports moments of my life. Do I expect it? No. But 1969, nobody expected the Mets to win. Who knows? I'm not banking on it. Have a good night, man. I'll tune into your next stream. I appreciate that, Ben Clark, man. Thanks for being here. Would you take Ruggs if I'm the Giants? No. Who wins more games? Belly or Brady? That to me. What's up, Ligma, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. That to me is the question of the offseason. Who wins more games, Belichick or Brady? It depends on who Belichick gets at the quarterback. But if I'm being honest right now, as much as I have a very pro-Belichick, and I think Belichick was more important to the Patriots, the situation that's set up right now for both of them, I've got to go Brady. I think Brady's got a much better situation than Belichick does. Stat prediction for Danny Dimes. 4,100 yards, 28 touchdowns, 10 picks, and hopefully only 3 or 4 fumbles. Should we grab Logan Ryan? We don't have the money to do it. I would love to grab him. We don't have the money to do it. No one expected. No, that's true, John. But let's be fair, John. We also made the playoffs in 05 and 06. So it wasn't like we were this horrible football team. We were a team that was getting better. 04 we weren't good. 05 Eli's second year we make the playoffs. Eli's third year we make the playoffs again, and then he wins a Super Bowl. So we were in a much better situation with that team than this one is. We had a veteran offensive line. We had guys like Michael Strahan on our defense. It was a much better team. But I hope I look like a fool. I hope they win the Super Bowl. The Entertainer Talking Sports Son. Thank you for popping in the stream, whoever that is. Who's your favorite tackle coming out? Chris, I love you, but please don't mention the Mutts. The New Year. I'm a Mets fan, man. I'm a Mets fan. Unfortunately, if I go back in time, I say it all the time, I probably would have been much more happier had I chosen the New York Yankees. When I was about 10 years old. But we don't all make the right decisions in our lives. I picked the wrong baseball team. But one day, I'm going to be very happy. One day the Mets are going to give me happiness. Go live. I'm definitely going live for the draft. I went live last year for the draft. I'll be live for the draft. Jason Garrett is only there to spy on us, Happy Valentine says. I think Jason Garrett's a good offensive coordinator. I think he's going to do a good job for the Giants. Let's see what we got here. There's still some time to convert you to the Yankees. No, it'll never happen, Jake. Never happen. I feel for you. The Knicks will never bring us. Oh God, Knicks are worse than the Mets, and the Mets are bad. I mean, you want to talk about the Knicks? I can rant about the Knicks forever. Okay. Yeah, the Knicks are horrendous. They're a team. Every time the Knicks give me a little bit of hope that they got a plan in place. You know, we're heading in the right direction. They never see it through. Donnie Walsh comes in, he clears it. Donnie Walsh did for the Knicks what Dave Gettleman essentially has done for the Giants. The only difference is the Knicks cleared up all this cap space. They get rid of all these guys, Zach Randolph. They get rid of all these guys with these big contracts. We got cap space. Then they go out and they ruin all of it. They trade for Carmelo Anthony. They give away all these players. They bring in Melo. They give away all the draft picks. The Giants didn't do that. The Giants stayed the course. The Knicks blew it up. Then the Knicks this year, they blew up everything. They get rid of the head coach. They get rid of everybody. They never see anything through. So the Knicks are just a complete dumpster fire. At least I have a little bit of hope with the Mets, and I have hope with the Giants. But the Knicks are a dumpster fire. Chris, would you be opposed to tanking for Trevor? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'm so sad the MLB season isn't starting. I love the Giants, but I'm a much bigger Mets fan than the Giants. The Knicks are so bad, I don't even care. Yeah, the Knicks are horrible, Ryan. Will Todd Gurley be the D-Rose of the NFL? It's certainly trending that way, Nikki. Do you wish we got Conklin for the same contract he got? Yeah. I mean, it's front-loaded, too. It's $20 million up front, and then you're only paying $22 combined on the back 2 years, I think. I think you got $42 for 3 years. You pay $20 up front, so yeah. Yeah, for that price, yeah. But at the end of the day, who knows if Conklin wanted to come here? You know, you don't know. Record prediction for the Giants this year. Before the draft, I'll go 6-10. Maybe 7-9. Next dynasty for the NFL. I mean, the easy answer is the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs have Pat Mahomes. They've got Andy Reid. They've got the P. I got to go Chiefs. I mean, you got to go Chiefs right now. You know, if you're picking a team that could be a dynasty, I got to go Chiefs. I mean, some people may say the Ravens, but I have more faith in Mahomes than Lamar Jackson long term. I got to go Chiefs. Chiefs are the potential dynasty. Check out this wide receiver. Antonio Gandy Golden. You're talking about Jon Snow. I'm a big fan of his. What's up there, Andrew Christopher? Thanks for popping in. Jarvis Drew says the Browns. Listen, man, I'll tell you what, Jarvis Drew is a great subscriber of mine. And I'm assuming he's a Browns fan. And he puts up with my Browns hate. As much as I hate on the Browns, I'm going to be unbiased. I'm going to be honest. The Browns are going to be a good football team next year. And I hate to say that. Okay? That's the truth, though. They're going to get an offensive lineman in the draft. They got Jack Conklin. They fixed their biggest hole. And I think the Browns are going to be a very good football team next year. I hate saying that. I hate admitting that. I do not like Odell Beckham. I've been on record of saying that. I do not like what Baker Mayfield said about Giants fans. But I got to give the Browns credit. I think the Browns are going to be a good football team next year. Let's see what we got here. I'm not picking you guys to go to a Super Bowl, but I think you guys are going to be a good football team next year. And Prince Cashman says, Bills equals boy, I love losing Super Bowl. Do you think the Giants can get T. Higgins? If they want to take a receiver in the second round, he could be there, yeah. Let's see what we got here. How many years do you think Garrett sticks around before pursuing a head coaching job? I say 2. That's probably a good number. I think it'll take at least 2 because he obviously doesn't have the best reputation of being a head coach. I think he needs to reestablish himself as a good offensive coordinator. And if Daniel Jones takes off, he might get another opportunity. So, yeah, I'd say 2, maybe 3. Let's see what we got here. Antoine Winfield to the Giants in the second round. Latimer or Coleman? I would go Coleman because I think Coleman has more of an effect on special teams. Latimer is a tall threat, but if I had to pick one, I'd go Coleman. Who do you think the Giants will pick in the second round? I think the Giants are going to either go. I mean, it depends. Again, I keep saying it depends what we do in the first round. But if we go offensive tackle early, I think we're going to go with an edge rusher. Whether that's I think we go with a defensive player. If we go with Simmons, we're going tackle. So who's ever the best available tackle there, which I don't know. I mean, you're hoping Austin Jackson falls, but I don't know if he would. Let's see what we got here. Why would the Giants sign Patrick Graham? Well, I think that they signed Patrick Graham. Dude, do you have the coronavirus? I'm not picking them to win the Super Bowl. I'm just being honest. I think the Browns will be better this year. Ken, man, thanks so much, man, for the membership, man. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I had a question. What was I about to answer? I'm not good at... Patrick Graham. Reason we bring in Patrick Graham, I think that's an easy answer, man. I think Patrick Graham fits exactly what the New York Giants are looking to do. He's a versatile coach. He came from Bill Belichick, just like Joe Judge. They've worked together in the past. They're lockstep. They've worked together. They have a good working relationship. That's what Joe Judge has brought in. That's why Patrick Graham is here. He's all about versatility. When you hear Patrick Graham talk, it could literally be Joe Judge. Like, if they had the same voice and you closed your eyes, you'd be like, oh, Joe Judge is doing a press conference. Like, that's why. They think alike. So, that's why Patrick Graham's the defensive coordinator. Mark Colombo has his work cut out for him. Yes, he does. And Mark Colombo, I know he probably got a couple of Cowboy fans in here. And I'm sure that a lot of Cowboy fans will tell you that Mark Colombo did a damn good job with the Cowboys as the offensive line coach. So, I'm actually... all right, I'm curious to get the... What's going on, Christian? Thanks for popping in the stream. I'm curious to get the chat's thought process. You know, I know a lot of you guys are diehards like me. You guys know the coaching staff. What, as Giants fans, who is your favorite... Take the coordinators and the head coach out of it. Who is your favorite coach that the New York Giants hired? There's a number for me, but I'm curious to get your guys' take. Who is the favorite non-coordinator coach that the New York Giants hired? Better late than never. What's going on, LaMelo Sinclair? Thanks for popping into the stream. Do I think Mayfield is overhyped? If I'm being honest, slightly yes. Yes. But I think he's gonna improve. Freddie Kitchens. We got a Freddie Kitchens. We got Coach Chaos. Okay. Colombo. Coach Chaos. Bielema. All right. Tom Coughlin. Chris Leon loves Tom Coughlin. We got a couple of Freddie Kitchens. Burns. You like the running back Coach Burns? Coach Chaos. Ben McAdoo. Oh, God. Don't get me started with Ben McAdoo. We got a bunch of Kitchens. I'm surprised, to be honest with you. Chaos. Shoplinski. Shoplinski's an underrated one. I like Shoplinski a lot. Shoplinski's... mark my words. I could be wrong. Jerry Shoplinski's going to be a head coach one day in the NFL. I like Shoplinski a lot, everything I've read about him. Joe Chaos. I like Chaos a lot, too. Colombo, I'm a big fan of as well. Okay, Stealth Raven. They're trolling with Kitchens, John Smith says. But yeah, I like Burns, the running back coach, myself as well. Chris Leon, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation, man. I really appreciate that. He says, you already know it's Coughlin the GOAT. Chris Leon loves Tom Coughlin. If it was up to him, Tom Coughlin would be the owner, the head coach, the offensive coordinator, everything. And Abby Santy, man, thanks so much for the love, man. He says, what's up, man? Best draft scenario, trade back to 5 or 6, get Simmons, and trade back into the first round and draft the tackle. Keep up the good work. I really appreciate that, man. And yes, if in a perfect scenario, you trade to 6, if you're a Simmons guy, and I'm a Simmons guy, I'm also a tackle guy. But if you could trade to 6 and get Simmons, and then couple 36 and 37, move back up to like 18, and there goes the green screen again. Move back up to like 18 and get a guy that falls. And I don't think it would happen. But if Jedrick Wills or Andrew Thomas fell there, I mean, you don't get better than that. Maybe you get Josh Jones. But yeah, in that scenario, I'm pretty happy. For sure. But thanks so much, man, for the love. Of course, you gotta find a trade partner to do that, which is easier said than done. Do you think McAdoo was going to trade up from Holmes? I mean, it depends on I don't know, man. Who knows? You know, you could say you wanted to trade up, but it's easy to say that. Who knows if anybody was willing to make a move? Austin Jackson. If we get him in the second round, I would love Austin Jackson. If we don't go offensive line in the first. Tackles could fall because not a lot of teams desperately need tackles. You keep praying. Let's go over the teams that I think are definitely taking a tackle. Let's just say the Giants don't take a tackle. Okay, let's play the game. Let's say the Giants don't take a tackle. Browns are taking a tackle. That's 1. Cardinals are taking a tackle. That's 2. I think the Jets are taking a tackle. That's 3. They could go wide receiver, but I think the Jets are taking a tackle. That's 3. The Titans are taking a tackle, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think they're taking a tackle. They lost Conklin. That's 4. The Vikings have 2 picks. They could take a tackle. That's potentially 5. Their offensive line sucks. Who am I forgetting? There's definitely at least 1, if not 2 more. There's at least 2 more that could take a tackle. Broncos could. The Broncos' offensive line is horrible. Everybody has them taking wide receiver, but they could take a tackle. I'm trying to think who else could. There's at least 1 more that could definitely take a tackle. It's 3 or 20. All right, maybe they won't take a tackle. Patriots could take a tackle. I think Jets, I think, are taking a tackle. Raiders could take it. There's a lot. I'd be surprised. Tampa Bay could definitely take a tackle. I would be surprised if less than 5 go in the first. I think at least 5. I'm leaning 6 with the possibility of 7. I think 6 is the right number, but maybe the Giants would get lucky and only 5 would go, and you get Austin Jackson. It's possible. Let's see what we got here. Who will be the worst team in the NFL this upcoming season? Oh, man. You know what? I'm leaning Jaguars. Because the Jaguars got rid of everyone. That whole team is gone. Yeah. I'm going Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are going to be the worst team. I think the Jaguars are tanking to get Lawrence. Jaguars. I'll go Jaguars. Niners at 13. Niners, yeah, they go. I think they'd be leaning more towards a wide receiver there, but it's possible. Bengals definitely could have the worst record again, too, obviously. If you were running the Dolphins, would you trade all 3 of their first-round picks for Cam and McCaffrey? Would give the Panthers 4 first-round picks to rebuild with. Okay, so the Panthers give up McCaffrey and Cam, and the Dolphins. No, if I'm the Dolphins, no. No. And I know it's a fun trade possibility, but why am I doing that? If I'm the Dolphins, I've got a young team. Why am I going to bring in a 31, 32-year-old quarterback with injury problems and a running back that's approaching getting paid top-tier money? From the Panthers, it's kumbaya. We got rid of a quarterback we don't want. We got rid of a running back that's about to get paid $20 million a year, and we get 4 first-round picks. For the Panthers, it's, celebrate good times, come on. But no, to me, no, it does not make sense for the Dolphins to do that. The Dolphins, to me, are trying to get young. They're trying to, no, it doesn't make sense. To sell, anything's possible. Have you, I'll take a look into them, though. I have not. A lot of safeties in this draft. This is true. Leo Ingram and a 3 for Yannick. That's more realistic, for sure. But I still don't think that'll happen. That's more realistic than some trade proposals I've heard. What's going on, Dwayne Basco, man? How you doing, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. No running back in the first round in your mock. How come? I almost went running back with the Chiefs at the back end. I almost went running back with the Dolphins. There could be a running back in the first round. If not, they'll go early second round. Yeah, I actually changed it a few times. I had a running back going to the Chiefs, and then I changed it because they lost so many corners. And I thought about to the Dolphins as well. But I thought A.J. Epinesa was too good of a fit for them in that spot to pass up. So that's why I didn't go running back. Where do you think Ngakoue will end up? I think he's going to end up on a team looking to win. You know, a team that's ready to win right now. Whether that's the Seahawks, a win-now team. I don't think it'll be the Giants. Any potential Giants trades in the draft? Yes, they could definitely trade down. They could definitely trade down, and they could trade back up into the first like they did last year. So, yes, it's definitely a possibility. Let's see what we got here. Do you know what the ballpark compensation is if the Giants were to trade back from 4 to 6? Yeah, Ryan, I would guess what you're going to get if you're the Giants. You're probably going to get, obviously, the 6, and you're going to get 37, the second-round pick of the Chargers, and I did a video on this, and I'm not going to get into the mathematics, but I broke it down as to what you should expect if a team's trading up for a quarterback. Basically, I looked at, past trades, and what it equated to was, if you look at the point system, I'm not sure if you're aware of what that is. Some people don't know. A lot of GMs look at the NFL trade point system, and most quarterback trades, you get more than what the points dictate. You usually get about 125% on your rate of return, meaning if you trade 400 points, you get about 500 back for every 400 that you trade if somebody's trading up for a quarterback. And what that equates to with the Chargers is about the 6th pick, the 37th pick, and a future second or future third in that ballpark. That's what you'd be getting. What's going on, Ethan? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Yeah, Latimer's a tall wide receiver, D-Rose. Blake Martinez, overrated or underrated? At this point, I would say he's rated. I think he definitely could have argued at one point he was overrated, but I think people at this point hate on him, and he might just be rated. He is what he is, and if he plays well this year, I'd probably say he's underrated. Who's winning Super Bowl 55? Who you got? I'm going to take the safe pick, man. I'm going to go Chiefs back-to-back. I got to go Chiefs back-to-back, man. I mean, they're loaded, man. They're locked loaded, man. I know they lost some secondary help there, but Pat Mahomes is a bad man. And, the safe pick is the Chiefs. Now, if you're asking me who's some sleepers, Colts. Colts a bit of a sleeper. It depends on what Rivers does there. It depends on what they do in the draft. They added a nice pass rusher with Buckner. They got the best offensive line. The Browns, maybe a little bit of a sleeper. They're not winning the Super Bowl. Let's be real. Ravens. Can't count out the Ravens in the AFC. But I'm sticking with the Chiefs. NFC. NFC's interesting. The 49ers, as much as I've been saying I think they're going to have a Super Bowl hangover, I don't know so much anymore because I think they're going to end up with CeeDee Lamb. They lost Buckner, though. So we'll see how you'll see that where that goes. I still think the Packers could be good because that's a very weak NFC North. I don't love what the Bears did. Even though I think Foles could play well in that system, I don't love what the Bears did. I don't love the Lions. I think that's such a weak division. I could see the Packers beating up in that division again, getting a 1 or a 2 seed in the NFC. I'm not saying it will happen, but I could definitely see it happening. You can't count out the Bucs, but I don't believe in Brady the way I used to believe in him. The Saints you can't count out either. Those are your teams. The Seahawks still in contention as well. But yeah, I'm. If you ask me right now before the draft, I'm leaning Chiefs Packers. I'm leaning Chiefs Packers right now. Super Bowl Chiefs Packers. Bills. I like the Bills a lot too. I like the Bills a lot last year. I still like the Bills. The Bills improved their team. So, yeah, the Bills are very good. A good call with the Bills, actually. Good call. You should be on Good Morning Football. I appreciate that, Lee Womack. Freeman as a backup to Saquon? Possible. We'll see. He might want a bigger role. Yo, what's going on, Moose? Thank you for popping in the stream, man. Brady has wide receivers at Tampa. He does. He definitely has wide receivers at Tampa now. I appreciate that. Our time will come. Don't worry. I agree, man. Got it. Slow and steady will win the race. Chris, let's see my Dolphins trade up to 13 and 18 and give the Bengals 2 first-round picks and a second this year to get Burrow. Is that what you're talking about? To get Joe Burrow? I think they're taking Joe Burrow. Entertainer for pride. I appreciate that, Justin Leone. Where's Clowney go? I think Clowney's going to end up with the Seahawks. I think he goes back to Seattle, if you ask me right now. Entertainer, if you were to guess, what is Darius Slayton's numbers for 2020? Just over 1,000 yards. I'll go 1,050, 9 touchdowns, and 65 receptions. That's my guess. Is Jay Ajayi a free agent? I think he is. I'm pretty sure he is. Because I think he had to sign a 1-year deal last year. He's been banged up. They got him off the scrap heap. Yeah, I got to think that. Should the Cowboys get Snacks? I'll tell you what, man. When I first heard that Snacks was a free agent, the first team I thought of was the Packers. I thought he fit so well there because they were so bad against the run last year. I hope they don't get him. They got McCoy already. If they get, that's a nice get for them. If they get Snacks, that's a nice get for them. That's a good fit. That'd be a nice piece for the Cowboys. I hope they don't get him. Do we keep Tomlinson? That's the question of the night, guys, because, well, I'll answer that. If we keep Williams, probably not. Because you're going to have to pay Williams $16, $17 million a year. I don't see you paying 2 tackles that kind of price. Any safeties Giants pursuing in the draft? Yeah, I think they'll address the safety. If it's earlier, it'll be a guy like Grant Delpit. If and maybe they could be looking at other guys later. But if you're looking at a guy for significance, you're looking in the second round for a guy like Grant Delpit. Not that we should, but would you trade Saquon for 2 firsts and a third? We're playing the Saquon games again. Yeah, I mean, if I'm getting 2 early first round picks for Saquon Barkley, I'm making the trade, but nobody's going to offer me that. But this is one thing I don't get about Giants fans. I completely get and maybe you're not a Giants fan, but I completely get the take that we shouldn't have drafted Saquon Barkley. I understand that. We were not a win-now team. We took a running back second overall. I can't argue that. You could definitely make the argument we should have went quarterback, even though we like Daniel Jones. You could definitely make the argument we should have traded down and drafted Chubb or drafted Nelson. You could make that argument. But Barkley's on the team now. Barkley's arguably the best running back in football in terms of talent. Barkley's a leader. This guy you want to be on the team. Why are we looking to trade this guy? I get it every stream. We're not trading Saquon Barkley's here. Saquon Barkley's going to be a New York Giant. Let's see what we got here. Draft the center in the second and third. I agree with you, Ken. I agree with you. Who comes out of the NFC South and who comes out of the NFC West? Who comes out of the NFC South? Who comes out of the NFC West? NFC West, I got to go Niners. I got to go chalk right now if I'm playing it safe. In the NFC South, I'm still going to go Saints. I'll go Saints. Chris, who are the top 1 to 8? Wow, I mean, that's a lot. I'm not going to be able to. I'll do a video on that. But when I could really organize everything. Best quarterback in the AFC East. I mean, we don't know the Dolphins quarterback right now. We don't know the Patriots quarterback right now. So it's either got to be the Jets or the Bills, right? So I'm going to go Josh Allen. But we don't know the other quarterbacks. But right now, I got to go Josh Allen. And I think Josh Allen has a lot. I think Darnold's got upside too. But I think Josh Allen has a lot of upside. He's got to work on his accuracy, though. Let's see what we got here. Do we trade Leonard Williams if we can't make a deal by July? I would love to, but I don't think anybody's taking him. Not at $17 million a year on a franchise tag. Hey, Chris, do you think Daniel Jones will be up having the best career out of the quarterbacks in his rookie class? Again, it's going to, you know what? People have asked me that as well. You look at the quarterback class, it's going to depend on who's got the best surrounding roster. I mean, do the Giants give Daniel Jones the offensive line that Eli Manning was given? Do they give him the surrounding parts? Whoever has the better surrounding parts between him and Kyler Murray is going to be the better quarterback. They both can play. Giants got to give him the offensive line, and I think he'll be just fine. So, come back to me in 2 or 3 years. Tell me who's on the Giants' offensive line. Tell me how good it's performing. Tell me who they added at wide receiver. That's who's going to have the better career. Do you think we are a playoff team next year? No. Let's see what we got here. Ingram to Green Bay for a second. They need a tight end. I would love to do that for a late second. He is in a walking boot, though. Let's see what we got here. Tainted, do a video on the greatest offensive lineman in New York football history. I love the hog mollies, man. Maybe after the draft, I might start doing videos like that. What's up, Chris? Sorry, Nick Young. You never have to apologize for being late, man. We're going to go for another 20 minutes. Been live since 8:20. Just doing a hangout. Probably going to watch a movie after this. But I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here. And if you guys got nothing going on tomorrow, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to do a midday call-in show, for people home during the day. You want to call in, talk sports. We'll do that for, probably 2 hours. I figure it won't be a huge crowd because it's midday, but, it'll be an opportunity for you guys to call in. Anybody that's free wants to call in. Do you think there'll be football this year? I hope so. I think there will be. I would like to think it'll be settled by then. What? Okay, Shooky. This is another one. This is another one. I can't wait. I cannot wait until I start getting these questions consistently. Shooky in the chat just asked me, what's the worst record where you would fire Joe Judge? I'm not firing Joe Judge. I don't care if they go 0-20 if you include the preseason. I am not firing Joe Judge. And I cannot wait. I know it's going to happen. Week 8. You wait, guys. You wait. Week 8. You're going to see people in my comments, in my streams, if the Giants are 2-6, we got to fire Joe Judge. We got to blow it up. Guys, what do I say on my channel all the time? Patience. You can't fire 2 coaches who have just been here for 2 years and then fire another coach a year later. What do you want to be the New York Knicks? Is that what we want to be? We can't be the New York Knicks, guys. Can't be the New York Knicks, guys. Got to be patient. Got to give this guy a real chance. Probably like 2-4. Probably like 2-4. Colin Show. Best offensive tackle prospect for the Giants. I say Andrew Thomas. Yeah. I mean, I'd be fine with that. He's probably the most proven left tackle prospect. Who is the Giants' best wide receiver? Giants' best wide receiver right now? I mean, I guess you'd probably have to say right now, you'd probably have to say Golden Tate, but I think Slayton's going to be. Let's see what we got here. Does Golden come back if What's up there, Last Jedi? Thank you for popping into the stream. Does Golden come back if Tomlinson leaves? No. Tomlinson's not going to leave this year. I mean, it would have to be a trade. He's still in the contract. How much do you think we improved after free agency? I think we improved. You know, and it has more to do with the younger players evolving, getting better. And I think that they're going to fit this system better. So I think just the changes as a whole, not even necessarily free agency, I think the team is going to be improved. But we're still playing a really hard schedule this year. So our record might not be that much better, but hopefully it is. But I do think we're going to be improved. I think our younger players will get better. DeAndre Baker, players like that, I think they're going to get better. In terms of who they replaced, I think Bradbury at this stage in his career is a better player than Janoris Jenkins. I think Martinez, even though everybody hates Martinez, I think he's a better player than Alec Ogletree. Alec Ogletree was not good. He had so many missed tackles, he's not good. So I think they're younger. They got better in those two areas. Is it a dramatic improvement? No, but I didn't expect that. I didn't think they were going to bring in the top guys. Hopefully they draft well, and hopefully the younger players play better with the new coaches. How much do you think Nate Ebner will impact the special teams? I think he could definitely impact the special teams. Everything you hear about him, he's a great special teams player. I think Joe Judge is going to impact the special teams. So I think the Giants are going to have one of the better special teams units in the league. They're not taking Okudah. I recognize that Okudah was a possibility before they signed James Bradbury. You're not going to spend $45 million on a corner and a first-round draft pick on DeAndre Baker the year before and a third-round draft pick on Love and a fourth, and a third-round supplemental pick on Beal, and then draft the first-round core. They're not doing that. Had they not signed Bradbury, it was a possibility. Which coach does Judge remind you of? To be fair, I have not seen Judge coach a game yet, but in terms of his persona and his personality, I mean, I say Belichick. You know, I'll say Belichick. I mean, he's got maybe a little. He's obviously a little bit different. He doesn't come across as a jerk, but he's a guy that is close to the vest. I'll say Belichick. Do you think Saquon will bounce back this year if he stays healthy? Why not? Which four current Giants are using to rush the passer if this season started today? Would it be BJL, Dexter Lawrence be in the mix? Good question. Which four Giants would be the primary passers if the season? Well, obviously the guy from the Packers we got is obviously in the mix. I would say Lorenzo Carter's in the mix. I'd say O'Shane Zimmern is in the mix. And I think we're going to draft someone. I think somebody else will be in the mix. But right now, if you told me who's the fourth guy, I guess I'll go probably Leonard Williams, actually. I'd probably go Leonard Williams over the others. I could see them using Leonard Williams in a flexible role where they move him outside, they play him inside. I'd go Leo as the fourth guy ahead of the other guys. David Bigelow, man, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. He says, what record wins the NFC East next year, being we all play the NFC West and the AFC North? That's a great question, Dave. I was actually going over the schedule with people in my Discord the other day, and I said, looking at the schedule, 9 wins. 10 wins tops. 9 wins, 10 wins tops. They're playing tough divisions. I don't see 11 wins in this division next year. 9 or 10 wins is going to win the division. Thoughts on Sexy Dex? I'm a huge... he did have a half a sack. I'm hoping he has a lot more. But if you... I said I think they're going to add another pass rusher. But if you ask me today, I would say he's the fourth guy. But I think they're going to add another pass rusher. But as far as Dex goes, I think Dex will be used more on the inside. They'll move him a little bit on the outside. One thing I want to see more of Dex next year, I want to see more batted balls. He did have a couple of them. I remember he had the blocked, I think it was an extra point or a field goal. That's something he's always been known for. I want to see him get more hands on balls, maybe create some turnovers. But I'm a huge fan of Dex. Dex is a really good football player. Can we get a Tana, Bad Dog, Fist Clap? I'm all for it, man. Maybe in a week or two, whatever. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Dex had like 3 or 4 sacks. Yeah, no, I love Dex. I think the defense will be drastically improved. I do too. But drastically improved still might mean we're a below average defense. Our defense last year was as bad as it gets, but I do think it'll be drastically improved. No, 17 games will be the following season. My defensive player of the year. Oh, man. Wow. I said Myles Garrett last year, going into the season. Obviously, that didn't work out very well. You know, he ended up smashing a guy in the face with a helmet. But he was having a very good year before that. The safe pick's Donald. I could see Aaron Donald having a bounce back year. I'll go Aaron Donald. I mean, he's the safe. I think he's the best. I think he's the best defensive player. So I'll go Aaron Donald. Will you be streaming? Yes, Andres. Yes. Listen, our defense can't be. Yeah, it can't be worse. Would you want Victor Cruz to come back in a year or two? He's too old, John. I mean, he's been out of the league now for what, 5 years or whatever it was. He's had multiple injuries. There's no way. If he was going to come back, it would have been last year when they were talking about it being a slight possibility, getting an opportunity in camp. But no, he's not coming back. Do you think Jones' fumbling issues, a lot of people saying TJ Watt. I like TJ Watt. You want to talk about a guy who might be the most underrated defensive player in football? Might be TJ Watt. TJ Watt is an all-around football player. He is great in coverage. He gets after the quarterback. He gets 12, 13 sacks. TJ Watt is a great football player. That's an underrated football player, TJ Watt. That's a good call by you guys. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, TJ Watt is an underrated football player. And we could have had him. I'm sure all the dire Giants fans know. I need you guys to type it. Who did Jerry Reese take? Instead of TJ Watt? Late first round draft pick. Who did Jerry Reese take instead of TJ Watt? Oh, there it is. There it is. Alex already wrote it. That was a good pick. That was a good pick. I appreciate that hit, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, we took Evan Ingram. We had a team that couldn't block, couldn't get after the quarterback, and we took a tight end who can't block instead of taking TJ Watt. Good job. Good job, Jerry Reese. Good job. Let's see what we got. Should they use Love as the slot corner to keep him at safety? If we draft the safety, yes, we could move him around a little bit, but we'd have to draft the safety who could have an impact early on. We didn't sign one in free agency. Yeah, Glass Ingram. What's up, Chris? As a Jets fans, we should take Jerry Jeudy or Lamb or an offensive. Yeah, it's a no-brainer, JMG. It's either the receiver or the tackle. That's it. That's the choice for you guys. If Chris was the GM, my God, we would win 30 Super Bowls. I'll tell you one thing. I will promise you guys this. If I was the GM, we would have never drafted Evan Ingram. I will guarantee you that. I can't guarantee I would have taken TJ Watt, but I absolutely would have either taken an offensive lineman or a pass rusher with that pick. Those were our two biggest needs at that point. Instead, he took this little gadget. When you're a team like the New York Giants and you've got holes on the offensive line, you got holes on the defense, you can't take gadgets. You don't take gadgets, okay? Evan Ingram was a horrible... I'm not saying Evan Ingram was a horrible football player. He was a horrible pick. He was a pick we couldn't afford when we made it. You don't take guys like Jimmy Graham when you can't block, okay? That's a luxury. We didn't have that luxury at that point. That's one of Jerry... Even though Evan Ingram's not a bad football player, that's one of Jerry Reese's worst picks. Because at that point in time, we couldn't afford to take a player like that. That was a horrible draft pick. I think we're going to take Tristan Wirfs at 4. Mike, I agree with you. That's why I mocked him today. And I'm not even saying I would do that. I think we're going to do that. Is Clowney to the Titans true? I have not heard that yet. I have heard rumors about that. I've heard Titans or Seahawks are the most realistic. Do you think Golden returns? I am leaning no. Mix Jerry Reese to get them together. You might somehow get a decent GM. Yeah. Yes, Michael. I'll give you credit for that. Even though, well, I don't know about that, Michael. I don't know about that. Maybe early Jerry Reese. The second half, Jerry Reese did nothing right. Other than he hit on some first-round picks. His free agent signings were awful. His draft picks were awful. Jerry Reese, as much as people hate Dave Gettleman, I mean, Dave Gettleman was much better than Jerry Reese. The second half, Jerry Reese. First half, Jerry Reese, okay, maybe, but second half, Jerry Reese was bad. Our offense was way more potent with Odell Beckham and Ingram, though. Now it's all on Barkley and a bum quarterback, so good luck. Yeah, but it was a pick we should have never made. Yeah, no, early first-round picks, Michael. You're right, but I don't judge GMs on early picks. I judge GMs on late picks. Any GM could draft somebody in the first round. You know, and I'm not saying you're always going to hit, but if you're an NFL GM, it's not hard to find a good player in the first round. I judge GMs rounds 3 to 7. Do you find good players in rounds 3 to 7? And Gettleman's been better at that than Jerry Reese. Let's see what we got here. Which New York team wins a Super Bowl first? I mean, if you ask me today, I'm a Giants fan. I'm taking the Giants. Jets haven't won since 1969. I'm sorry, Giants. You need to be on Good Morning Football. I appreciate that, Lee. Reese did good because of who he was working there at the beginning. Yeah, and I'm not trying to completely bash Reese. I try to be fair. I thought that Reese did some good things early on, right? The first Super Bowl, if you're being fair, that's not Reese's Super Bowl. That's a Corsi Super Bowl. Reese had a good draft. He brought in a couple of nice small pieces, but that's a Corsi Super Bowl. All the impact players on that team, for the most part, were Corsi guys. The second Super Bowl, I'll give him half credit, maybe 60% credit, because you still had a ton of Corsi guys that were high impact guys on that team. OCU Minora, Eli Manning, you go down the list. But he definitely brought in some guys for that team. You had Victor Cruz, undrafted free agent, great find. Hakeem Nicks, first round pick, it worked out. Mario Manningham was pretty good value for a second or third round pick, whatever it was. Ahmad Bradshaw, big part of that team. So he definitely gets at least partial credit and probably a little more than half credit for that second Super Bowl. The first Super Bowl, they don't get credit for that. But I don't even bash Jerry Reese for the first half. The first half of his tenure with the Giants, he was very good early on, and then as he progressed, he got progressively worse. And then it just got to a point where it was really bad. Chris, what pick was Jerry Reese's best? Jerry Reese's best pick, if we're talking strictly value, it's probably Ahmad Bradshaw. Got Ahmad Bradshaw in the 7th round. His first draft ever as the New York Giants GM. If we're talking strictly value, it's probably Ahmad Bradshaw. How do you feel about Robbie Anderson to the New York Giants? We don't have the money. It's not going to happen. Do you discuss that? I'm not a big hockey guy. That's the one sport I can't really discuss. But one thing I will do, I'll make this more of a New York sports show if you guys want going forward. Being that baseball's supposed to be here. Obviously, I'm more centered around the Giants. That's most of my videos. But I'm always open to talking about baseball or basketball. But it's always going to be mainly Giants. What's up there, Julian Tate? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. JPP was a Reese selection, right? Yes, that was a good pick as well. JPP was definitely a good selection. And he had a lot to do with that Super Bowl. I give Reese credit. Reese had a good amount to do with that second Super Bowl. You'll take another Reese anytime? That's what we'll disagree. That's what we'll disagree. But, that's what sports are about. Everybody's got their opinions. We were in cap hell because of Jerry Reese. So we were never going to be good the first 2 years Gettleman was here because of Jerry Reese. We couldn't sign anybody. He left us with a horrible offensive line. Jerry Reese is not a good GM. Now, you could argue Reese was better than Gettleman, but Gettleman, let's be fair here when we evaluate GMs. And I always try to be fair and impartial. I know a lot of people just want to hate Gettleman. They hate Gettleman. And Jacob, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, if we draft Simmons or Chase, are we a playoff team? Chase, we'd have a better shot. I'd still say we're not a playoff team either way. No, but we're much closer. With either one of them, we're much closer. And Zach Smith, thank you so much, man, for the $3 donation. He says, as a football fan, I want Dak to dare both AC. No, you could never root for injuries. Never could root for injuries. And I like Dak's a good guy. I just can't root for him because he's a cowboy. Can't do that. Yeah. So what I was going to say, you got to be fair when you evaluate these guys. Look at the team that Jerry Reese inherited, and look at the team that Dave Gettleman inherited. Jerry Reese inherited a team that had gone to the playoffs 2 years in a row. He took over a ready-made football team. They had all the pieces in place. He got handed the keys to the car and said, don't screw it up. That's what happened. Dave Gettleman inherited a team with no cap space, with veterans that they signed 2-3 years earlier on 5-year deals that were aging veterans that were getting worse. He couldn't sign anybody of significance. The only signing he could make of any significance was Nate Solder, which he needed to make because they had nobody that could protect for Eli Manning at the time, which I think was forced on him by John Mara. Has he made some signings that make you scratch your head? Yeah. Was the Leonard Williams trade good? No. Is he perfect? No. He's made some mistakes, but when you're going to compare him and Jerry Reese, you got to put it in context. Jerry Reese, let's try to compare this to a president of the United States. Jerry Reese is like he took office when the country was booming. It had this great economy. And Gettleman, it's like he took office when he inherited the Great Depression. So you got to be fair when you judge what they came into. He had to fix something. Reese had to just not screw it up. So you got to be fair. Let's see, we got top 5 running backs in the NFL right now. Oh, wow. Top 5 running backs in the NFL right now. I mean, it's obviously McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know if Kamara had a bad year last year, right? Kamara's probably, he's got to be close still. I'm trying to think of who the 5th is. I would say those 4 for sure. And you could throw a bunch of guys in there as the 5th. I mean, I would say Le'Veon Bell, but he was really bad last year. Henry. What am I saying? Henry. Henry's got to be in there. Henry. Those 5. Henry. Yeah, Henry. Good call. Henry. All right, Victor, man. Have a great night, man. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. I appreciate it. Gurley's, not anymore. I love Gurley, but not anymore. Gurley's not what he was after the injuries. He's not what he was. Most likely to break out, Carter or Zimenez? That's a good one, man. I think Zimenez is more likely to get more sacks, but Carter might have a really good year for the Giants if they use him the right way. I think they both could have breakout years. I don't watch UFC. I don't really watch UFC. I did the stream one time because everybody wanted me to do it, and I'm sure I'll do one in the future. Because people they like when I do the play-by-play. I get a little crazy if you're new to my channel. I get into it. So I did a UFC fight for fun. So I'm sure I'll do another one of those in the future. But I'm not a big UFC guy. It's 4 a.m. for William, man. You're the man, dude. Thank you for being here, buddy. And I appreciate that. Happy Valentine, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for still being on. Thought I missed it. Yeah, I was going to say 11. You know what? I love you guys. I love you guys. I said 11. We'll go to 11:30. Then I'm going to call it a night. Because I'm doing a call-in show at 2 tomorrow. But we'll go a half hour longer. I appreciate everybody for being here. Anybody that may be new, don't forget that thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell. Thank you guys for being here. What about R.J. McIntosh? R.J. McIntosh, whenever he gets to play, he's pretty good. I like R.J. McIntosh. He's not going to get to play. I mean, they have so much depth at that position right now. We may go to midnight, Raphael says. A big thanks for doing these open live chats during some trying times. I appreciate that, Tommy Ribs. I appreciate all you guys for being here for me, man. You got it, Ethan, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate that, Derek Martin. Would you ever have a Discord call with members and watch games? I didn't know that you could do a Discord call. I don't know how to do it. I have a Discord. I'll look into that. Yeah, I'll look into that. More interesting division to watch this year, NFC East or the NFC South? I mean, I gotta go NFC South because you got the whole Brady Breeze thing, right? I mean, that to me isn't. I mean, obviously as a Giants fan, I'm gonna say NFC East, but from if I'm being unbiased and looking from a fan's perspective, I gotta go NFC South. I mean, you got interesting storylines all over that division, but obviously you got the Brady, you got the Breeze going at it. Breeze is both of them might be playing their last season, so enjoy it while you can. And then you got the new coach Matt Rule. He's bringing some things to Carolina. I like the NFC South. You got some good storylines going on in the NFC South. Not really Atlanta. I'm not a big Atlanta guy this year. Not really intriguing anything there. But Carolina, I'm interested to see Matt Rule and everything there. And then obviously Breeze and Brady. But I'll tell you what, the NFC East does have some really good storylines. I think the Giants coaching staff is very intriguing. I think it's very interesting. You got 3 new coaches. So you got completely new regime changes with the Redskins, the Cowboys, and the Giants. So it is a very interesting division this year. But the whole Brady Breeze thing, to me, tops it. You will donate $1,000 if I do it 20. That wouldn't do it. 24 hours would be that's tough, man. I couldn't do that. Do you have any late round receivers on your board, Chris? Yeah, I've been asked this a couple times, but when I do my 7-round mock draft, I'll mention all of them. But Gandy Golden is one of the guys for sure. Colin Johnson, but I'll mention him. How would inside linebacker, Joe? Inside linebacker. Definitely inside linebacker. I think that's his best role. Chris, I love your videos, but I highly disagree with your mock draft. The best player available is Simmons, and as much as we need help on the offensive line, it's too risky. But still love you, man. Yeah, well, now, Taco, I know, first off, that mock draft, I should say that when I start filming the mock drafts. That mock draft, even though I would probably lean offensive tackle, that mock draft is not what I would do. That mock draft is what I think the New York Giants will do. I think the New York Giants are taking an offensive tackle. It has nothing to do with my opinion on what I would do. I legitimately think they're taking a tackle. It's just my opinion. I think they're going to take a tackle. I could be wrong. I didn't think they were taking Daniel Jones last year. They did. So, if you ask me right now, I think they're taking a tackle, but I'm not ruling out Isaiah Simmons as a possibility. Chris, do you have your own playbook? Do I have my own playbook? No, no. But what do you mean? Do I have my own? No, I don't have my own playbook. I should have my own playbook. Who would you put at the strong side? Oh man. Oh wow. I gotta wait till after the draft before I could answer those questions because I think the linebacker core in general could completely change based on the draft. Ramon, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, Bradshaw, Boss, Alfred Smith, Diassi, 2000. Yeah. It was a great draft. That's his best draft. 2007. I didn't bash him early on. First 3 or 4 years of Reese were very good. First 3 or 4 years of Reese were very good. That draft is probably his best draft. Now, were those guys supreme? I'll give him 10%. 90% goes to Accorsi, okay? As much as Bradshaw was a nice piece, he didn't really play much until the end. Boss filled in very nicely. After Shockey got hurt, Alfred had the nice sack in the Super Bowl. Those guys definitely contributed. Eli Manning, Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck, Osi Umenyiora, those guys contributed a lot more. I think we could all agree on that. Amani Toomer, Plaxico Burress, I think we could all agree. Brandon Jacobs, Antonio Pierce. I think we could all agree that those players contributed a hell of a lot more than those players. Now, did those players help? Yes. But that's why, if you're being fair, you got to give Accorsi more credit than Reese for that Super Bowl. You got to. Jacob, man, thanks so much, man, for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to become a member on my phone, but it doesn't show up on your channel. Not 100%. Sure. When you type, it should say my thing if you're a member. I'm not sure, man, but I'll try to help you out, man. I appreciate the thought, though, man. Thank you so much, buddy. Chris, you related to Skip Bayless? I am not. I am not. Let's see what we got here. Why does Leo Williams get so much hate? He had the second most knockdowns by a lineman, a ton of pressures, and the run defense improved after the trade. You want to know the real reason why Leo Williams gets a lot of hate? He doesn't get sacks. And people identify defensive linemen by sacks. He's not a guy that gets sacks. Now, yeah, do I think for him to be getting paid the money he's getting paid, he should be getting sacks? Yes. But does he do good things? Yes. He definitely causes disruption up at the line of scrimmage. We saw it as Giants fans. He helped in the run defense. Do I want to see him get after the quarterback more? Yeah. But that's why he gets hate. He doesn't get 8, 9, 10 sacks. He gets a half a sack. He gets 2 sacks. He gets 3 sacks. He's not a sack guy. That's why he gets hate. Entertainer, what do we got here? What is going on there? MH, thanks for popping into the stream. Drop Williams, go for Clowney. I read that article today. To be honest with you, it's not a bad idea. It's not. They're not going to do it, but it's not a bad idea if you would be willing to come here. Williams was getting double teamed all season. He was. The Jets had no help on that defensive line. And that. The trade is also why he gets hate. The picture for the Discord server has me... What? Dennis Glynn? Shucky, man. Thanks so much, man, for the $2 donation. I really appreciate that. He says, love your show. Best of the season move so far. Thank you so much, Shucky. I really appreciate that. Best season? Guys, this is an easy answer, man. This is an easy answer. Best off-season move so far. I'm going to let everybody type it in the chat because everybody should know this one. Joe Judge. Joe Judge, best season. Best off-season move. I love Joe Judge. Give me Joe Judge. Entertainer, how long you been streaming? I've been live since 8:20. We're gonna go for another 23 minutes. We're gonna go to 11:30. Joe Judge, baby. Did you hear Remmers to the Chiefs? I did hear that. Yes, I did. What are we going to do for a center? I think we're gonna draft the center. Whether it's the second or the third round. Yeah, Joe Judge. Detonator with a $2 donation, man. I really appreciate that. He says, I'm back. Let's go. Been too long. Homie love, man. I appreciate that, man. And I got to meet Detonator at the Jet Giant game. He's friggin' awesome. Great kid. And I appreciate that from the booty, man. Typed it right as you said it, the card coach said. You were the best tryout for Good Morning. I appreciate that, Lee Womack. Are you fine? What's going on, Hot Take Hockey? Going over there. Somebody asked me if I was a Rangers fan. If you're a hockey fan, I'm telling you right now, I don't even like hockey. Anytime I go on HTH's channel, he's got good content. Go over there, check him out. He says, are you fine if the Giants don't make another signing? Yes. For me, the biggest objective for the New York Giants this offseason was setting themselves up for the future. Not ruining the cap space, giving themselves room to make this team good when they're ready to be. I didn't want them screwing up cap space 2-3 years down the line. They didn't just not screw it up, they made it better. I think the Giants had a good offseason. They stuck to the exact plan that I would have if I was a GM. I think they had a great offseason. Do you still prefer Rule? I still like Rule. I still like Rule, but I like Joe Judge. I like Joe Judge a hell of a lot. And Rule's done some questionable things since he's gotten to Carolina. But I do like the coaching staff Carolina's organized. But I really do like Joe Judge a lot. 3-4 or 4-3-D, it's going to be both. It's a hybrid. Like Joe Judge has said several times, like Patrick Graham says, they're going to do it based on their opponent. They're going to be like a chameleon. You're not going to know what defense they're running. They're not going to run the same defense every week. I appreciate that, Ethan, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. What should we do about our safety? Yeah, people have been asking me that all night. I mean, right now, you got Julian Love there. You know, obviously Peppers and Julian Love, and that may be what we do this year. I would like to add some depth, whether that's in the draft or whatever it may be, but right now, that's what we got going in. I wouldn't be opposed to drafting a safety in the 3rd or 4th round, 2nd round. Like I said, if we had 2 second-round picks, I do think there's more pressing needs than a safety. I'd rather fill another hole, but if we were able to trade down and get 2 second-round picks, I'm all for taking a safety. It gives you a little more flexibility in that defense. Joe DeGrassi, man, you never got to apologize, man. Great subscriber of mine. Thanks for being here, buddy. Thoughts on Jason Garrett? What's up, Sincere Blue, man? Thanks for being here, buddy. Thoughts on Jason Garrett? I like him as an offensive coordinator. I don't like him as a head coach. You look at Jason Garrett early on in his career. Look at the quarter. I mean, Tony Romo was great, right? But Tony Romo was undrafted. Okay? Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick. The guy knows what he's doing when it comes to offense. Dallas Cowboys had one of the top 8, 9, 10 offenses in football the whole time Jason Garrett was there. And I know Jason Garrett didn't call the plays the last couple of years, but early on they were very successful with Tony Romo as their quarterback. I think Jason Garrett's a good offensive mind. Do I think he's a good head coach? No. Would I have been screaming if he became the head coach? Yes. But as an OC, I got no issues with Jason Garrett. I think Jason Garrett's a fine offensive coordinator. I also like that he brings head coaching experience because you got a young, inexperienced head coach. So I think it's a good fit. I also like Mark Colombo that he brought along with him. I think that's a good fit as well. Let's see what we got. How can I earn my wrench? Oh, God. How do you not have a wrench? There you go. That's just, obviously, I reset all the wrenches. Chris, would you go offensive tackle at number 4 and middle linebacker at 36? Would I go offensive tackle at 4 and middle linebacker at 36? Yeah, it depends on the middle linebacker though. I'm not gonna force middle linebacker pick at 36. It's got to be the right guy. They go a lot of ways at 36, especially if they go offensive line in the first. But if the right middle linebacker's there, yeah, I go middle linebacker. But it's got to be the right guy. I'm not forcing that pick. Nick Young, man, thanks so much, man, for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. He says, will DJ have second-year leap like Wentz or second-year slump like Darnold? That's the question of the day. And I'm going to answer that for you, Nick Young. And I'm not going to say he's going to be Carson Wentz, and I'm not going to say he's going to be Sam Darnold. Who's on that offensive line? Who's on that offensive line? For all the Isaiah Simmons people, you want my honest answer. Who's on the offensive line? Where do they spend their draft picks? If they put heavy emphasis on the offensive line, he's gonna have a good rookie year, second year. If they ignore it, I think he's gonna slump, or he's not gonna get better. Where are the draft picks? That's my answer. Let's see what we got here. Do the Redskins trade for Cam, draft Tua, or stick with Haskins? Do the Redskins trade for Cam, draft Tua, or stick with Haskins? I would stick with Haskins. I'd give Haskins another year. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, you're hearing rumors all over the place. I don't know. I really don't. I'm leaning they'll stick with Haskins for one more year, but I could be wrong. They could very well bring in Tua. I still say that's not going to happen. I won't completely rule it out. And Newton's a possibility as well. I won't rule either one out. Obviously there's ties there with the head coach. I agree with Chris Mock. I appreciate that, Jeffrey. Quinton Williams was a hit or miss. Too early to tell. I still think Quinton Williams is a really good player. I liked him a lot going into last year's draft. Too early to tell. But there's a big year for him too for the Jets. But too early to tell. Would you let go of Leonard Williams to get Clowney? If I'm being honest, yes. But I don't think it's going to happen. But yes, I would. I think Clowney's a better football player. If you get him for the same price, if it's a 1-year deal like they're projecting, now if the question is would I like old Leonard Williams to sign Clowney to a 5-year deal, I might say stick with Leonard Williams for 1 more year. But if it's 1 year versus 1 year, yeah. But I don't know if that's a possibility. If it is, Giants should entertain it. Do I think they will? No. If I'm being honest. What's going on? Rudy T says, Tana, I'm actually more excited about our new coaching staff than I am about our talented young play. I think the new young coaching staff is the most exciting thing about the New York Giants this year. I do. That is what I'm most looking forward to covering. Seeing how they coach a game, seeing how they handle the practices, how they handle the media. I'm very interested by it. I am. I'm really excited. Oh, man, there you go, Jacob. You were asking how to do it, man. Thank you so much, man, for becoming a member, man. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much, man, for becoming a member. Chris, what player is the most trade value on the team? Okay. I mean, the answer, probably Saquon Barkley. But in terms of players that I think they will actually think about trading, it's a healthy Evan Ingram or Dalvin Tomlinson. They're not trading. I really don't think they're ever trading Saquon Barkley. But in guys that they could potentially trade, Dalvin Tomlinson or a healthy Evan Ingram. I appreciate that, Nikki. Thank you very much. Glad we brought back Cody Core. Yeah, I'm glad they brought back Cody Core as well. Cody Core, I call the games every week. So obviously, when you're just sitting back watching the game with a beer in your hand, you don't have to, I'm calling the play, so I gotta really focus. And Cody Core, I'm telling you right now, every single game you go back watch my streams, that guy did something good. That guy did something good in pass coverage. Cody Core was one of the most underrated pickups by Dave Gettleman last year. Cody Core was great. David Mayo was great. Those were two great pickups by Gettleman that nobody really talked about going into the year. And I was so glad that they brought Cody Core back. Now, did they pay a little more maybe than they should have? Maybe. But I'm glad Cody Core's back. Who's a better receiver, Judy or Lamb? Flip a coin. Really, flip a coin. They're both going to be great. They're both going to be phenomenal. Who's got the better quarterback? That's my answer. Who goes to the better situation? I think that's the guy that'll be better because I think they're both going to be otherworldly. Can you see a budget signing for a Logan at cornerback with a veteran safety like Eric Reed or Demarius Randall? Listen, I would love Logan Ryan, Rob. I really would. That's exactly what we need. We need a slot. We don't have the money. We don't have the money unless they do something dramatic in terms of backloading contracts, things like that. But I would love Logan Ryan. I would love him. It's exactly what we need. But I don't see it. I don't see it. Discord link, please. I really appreciate you asking. I'm sure somebody from my Discord's in here. If they are, please drop the link. And one thing I will say, sometimes they get rambunctious, so it's not always, I always try to talk football. But yeah, you could somebody could drop the link. What's up? I'm back. What's going on, Neil? Thanks for popping in the stream. Who will be better, Love or Tua? I'm gonna go Love. I know some people might think I'm crazy for that. I don't trust Tua. I don't trust Tua's injury history. I just don't. And I do think Jordan Love has if Jordan Love gets in the right situation, I think Jordan Love could be really good. So I'm gonna go Love. For nothing else, then I don't trust Tua to stay healthy. That I don't. I really don't. I hate saying that. I love Tua. I think Tua is as good of a guy as you could hope. He seems like a great kid. He's got a lot of talent. I love Tua. I'm rooting for Tua. I hope he works out. But I would pick Jordan Love. DeFron, man, thanks so much, man, for the love, man. $5 donation. He says, hey, Tana, who would you say made the worst move signings this free agency? Yeah, wow. The one signing that stuck out to me, the Robert Quinn with the Bears overall. But the Robert Quinn, he's 30 years old. And I like Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn was on my radar. But I thought he'd get a 3-year deal. 5-year deal, $14 million a year for a guy that's 30 years old. No. And then get Nick Foles. And I know Nick Foles fits their scheme. I think the Bears had the worst offseason. I honestly don't understand what they were doing. I don't understand what they were doing. Tua is a great is great draft bait for us to get the Dolphins picks. He is. Hopefully has a good pro day. Thoughts on Emmanuel Sanders to the Saints? Was it a big loss for the Niners? I don't think it was a big loss because the Niners are going to easily replace him. I think they're taking a wide receiver at 13. They're going to have CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy more than likely on their team. So, no. Now, the bigger loss was the trade they made to get the 13th pick. So, that you could argue that. But no, I think Emmanuel Sanders is more than replaceable. I'm excited about our special teams. Ebner really helps us. Yes, he does. Sam Beal might shock people. Sam Beal's just got to stay healthy. So I think Sam Beal's got talent. He's got to stay healthy. Will Becton be the next Eric Flowers? I hope not. If we end up with him, I hope not. I hope not no matter what. I never root against a player unless they're a Cowboy or an Eagle or a Redskin. But, no, I hope not. I think he's got a lot of potential. Most improved NFC team this year besides the Giants. If we're talking just improved, I don't think the Cowboys improved. I think maybe the Cowboys stayed close to status quo. The Cowboys, if you're a Cowboys fan, all right, I'm going to give you the argument for each team. This is what the Cowboys could say, how they improved. We got rid of Garrett. We brought in a proven head coach, a proven winner with Mike McCarthy. I'm not the biggest McCarthy fan, but that's what they could sell you on. We got a new head coach who's got Super Bowl experience. That's their big improvement, because at the end of the day, they lost Byron Jones, they lost Robert Quinn. Did they bring in some nice signings? Yes, but I don't think it offset it. So in terms of personnel, I don't think they got better, but they could sell you on the coaching staff. The Eagles, the way they could sell you on if they got better, they're healthy. They had a lot of injuries last year. So that's where they could say they got better. They brought in a couple of nice pieces. They brought in a nice cornerback. So they had a couple of nice pieces, but they're healthy. That's the big thing with the Eagles. And the Redskins, new coach, Ron Rivera. Again, very accomplished head coach. But in terms of their offseason moves, nothing really sticks out to me. They didn't make anything that was crazy. They brought in a nice slot cornerback. I think the Giants are much more improved than the Redskins. That's just my humble opinion. But the Redskins, I do like their coach. I do like Ron Rivera. And, we'll see where it goes from there. But I guess I'd say the Redskins, just because they were just as bad as we were. And they could only go up. What is your opinion on Graham as a DC? I like Graham. I think he fits what Joe Judge is looking to do. I think he's versatile. I think it's a good fit. Yeah, they got better by getting rid of Nelson Aguilar also. Chris, what do you think of Jones' touchdown interception numbers B? 28 and 11. Somewhere in there. Redskins are they've been shopping Dunbar for a while. I just checked out your Discord antenna. That chat was wacky, right? Yes, they are wacky. Yeah, I might have to create a separate Discord chat that talks just strictly football, because they are wacky. They're great subscribers of mine, but they are wacky. Would Wills, Bourne, and Claypool be the dream first 3 rounds? Wills, Bourne, Claypool. I'd be happy with that. I mean, you get your left tackle, you get your versatile edge rusher, outside linebacker, and you get your tall wide receiver. That's good. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's my dream, but it's definitely very good. Yeah, I'd be very happy with that. Should they sign Robbie Anderson and draft a wide receiver in the 3rd-ish round? Robbie Anderson we're not getting. We don't have the money. So 3rd round. 3-4 is 3 linemen, 4 linebackers. Yes, that is correct, Jeffrey Young. Chris, do you think it's possible to take an offensive tackle in the 1st and then trade back into the 1st for Kenneth Murray? Yes. Yes, we could couple both 2nd-round picks and move up. Yeah, yes, that's definitely possible. And I'm getting a call. I think that's Dave Gettleman, but I'll let it ring. That should go away in a second. Chris, who would you? Where's my phone? Okay. Hope you enjoyed I did, Smexy Maxie. That was great, man. Did the Cardinals do enough to crack the 10-win mark? Maybe. I mean, the NFC West is definitely a competitive division, but they might have. I mean, see what they do in the draft. I think they'll go offensive. I think they'll win at least 8 games. They're definitely going to be more competitive. Let's see what we got. Oh, man, Zach Smith, man, thanks so much, man, for the love. $2 donation. He says, Dak Prescott inherited a Ferrari and crashed it. I don't know if he crashed. I try to be unbiased on this channel. Listen, I don't like the Cowboys. I don't like Dak. I think Dak's like most quarterbacks in the sense that if you give Dak the pieces to succeed, he can succeed. The question is, when he gets paid $40 million on a 5-year basis and it starts taking away those pieces that have helped him succeed, is he the type of quarterback that could carry a football team? That remains to be seen. I have my doubts. But Dak, when he has the pieces around him, has demonstrated he's at least a winning quarterback. But I think that's a lot of quarterbacks in this league. I think a lot of quarterbacks could be winning quarterbacks when you put the pieces around him. Dak's decent. Is he worth $40 million? No. Chris, what is the most versatile player on our defense? I'd probably say Peppers. Probably Peppers. What are your thoughts on Saquon being below 90? That's ridiculous. I don't play Madden, but that's ridiculous. Tana, who would you take for Saquon's backup? There's definitely in the. I was actually happy that they're going to do it in the draft. There's a couple of guys, but I'm not touching a running back till at least the 5th. But like I've said this whole time, I want it to be a big body back. I want it to be Kind of like what you guys got with the Saints, where you got one guy that, Murray is the bigger guy, and you got Kamara. Not that I want an even split, but I want a guy that could come in and be that short yardage runner. That's what I want. Simmons it's hard to compare Simmons to anybody. I mean, Cam Chancellor is one I hear all the time. Cam Chancellor was obviously a safety, but he was a big safety. That's a decent comparison, but there's not a lot of linebackers you could really compare him to. He's not really a linebacker. He's just a football player. He's a guy you could ask to really do anything. He could play in any position you want. It's hard to compare him to anybody. He's the modern day linebacker. I think he's what linebackers are going to be in the future. I think those are the types of athletes you're going to want at that position, because the game's not the way it used to be. It's just not. And you need guys that can cover at that position, and that's what Simmons is. What's up there, Fabricio? Thank you for popping in. Was talking to my uncle today about Dak. He was borderline sticking up for him while I was talking about how overpaid he is. I don't care if he threw for 5,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. His team is insane. He's got the best offensive line in football. Would you rather hope that one of the top 6 offensive tackles falls to you at the second so we can draft Simmons, or would you rather... Okay, if you guaranteed me we're going to get Josh Jones and we get Simmons, I'd be open to it. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But I'd be open to that. And I think it's going to come down to this pick. If they don't trade down, that pick is going to come down to where they think they could get better value in the second. Unless, like I said, they're just completely blown away with Simmons, which they could be. But if they feel like they could get a really good tackle in the second, and they're not in love with the defensive prospects in the second, they might go Simmons. But if they feel like the opposite, they'll probably go tackle. Chris, do you ever think Gettleman watches your videos? Actually, it's funny. I don't think he does. But it's funny that you say that. I made a video, I think it was the backup quarterback, when I made a video about Colt McCoy. And I had a lot of people comment, and they say, this is exactly what you said was going to happen. I think Gettleman watches you. I must have had 5 people write that. I don't think. I'd be surprised if Gettleman watches my video. I hope he's not. I hope he's actually watching game film rather than watching me. So probably not. And Dana, what do we got here with Darius Slayton? We got a receiver. We got a receiver from Auburn that can catch passes. That's what we got. Do you think they could package Ingram and pick up for a potential lineman? Anything's possible. But like I've said all along, I think it's going to be hard to trade Ingram, being that he's in a walking boot. I think in season it's going to be much easier if he can prove he's healthy. Top 5 wide. Yo, guys, Karambite is spamming the shit out of the Discord server. I think you should block him. When I get off, we will look into that. I will look into that, Goat. Top 5 wide receivers in the NFL. Top 5 wide receivers in the NFL. Thomas Hopkins. This isn't in order. I'm just naming the guys. Thomas Hopkins. I'll still put Odell in there. I'll still put Julio in there. And I know I'm forgetting somebody. I always do. Trying to think. I know I'm forgetting somebody. I'm just going to look in the chat and cheat. I'm sure somebody's going to say it. There's a couple of guys I'm thinking of. I mean, Mike Evans is really good, but I don't think he's in the top 5. What do you guys think? Isn't what Joe... What do you mean isn't that what Joe Judge wants? Pertaining to what? What's up, Russell? Thanks for popping in. Adams is up there, too. Love the channel. Be safe, Chris. You too, Rob, man. Thanks for popping in the stream, man. You need more mods. More mods regarding the stream? Oh, man. Michael, man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that, man. $10 donation, man. I appreciate that, man. He says, Tana, loving the content lately. I'm about to member up. But before I get off, one question. Wouldn't you love to take a vacation picture of Plaxico's gun at Mount Rushmore? Catch on the colon, bro. Oh, that's what he said on Twitter today when they were talking about Giants Mount Rushmore. Oh my God, Plaxico, man. We would have had at least one more Super Bowl if it wasn't for Plaxico. We might have had 2 more. That team was that good. And Bad Dog says it all the time, and he is so right. That 2008 regular season team, we were just killing teams. We were killing teams. And who knows, if we go and win that second Super Bowl in a row, the Giants got all the momentum in the world. We still got Burris. We might have won another one. That's how good that team was. And Burris ruined it. But I'll always remember, the good things with Burris, but that definitely wasn't good. In your opinion, who is our number one receiver? Right now, you got to say Tate because of his experience. But I think Slayton's going to be. Chris, what scheme does our defense fit most? I'd say the 3-4 because they still have a lot of players that they drafted for the 3-4. But they do have a lot of versatile players that can play in both. But I would say more the 3-4. Yeah, the Giants were on the verge of a dynasty, man. Yeah, he was great for Eli. Michael, he was... The thing with Plaxico, this is crazy to think about, Mike. Plaxico Burress was phenomenal for Eli, but as crazy as that sounds, he was almost like training wheels. Like when you had a rookie quarterback, it was so valuable to have a guy like Plaxico Burress because Eli would be double teamed, he would just throw the ball up, and Burress would come down with the 50-50. But as crazy as this sounds, I think Eli became a better quarterback when Burress left because then Eli was forced to scan the field. When he had Burress, all he did was just chuck it up. I'm not saying he never scanned the field, but he had a safety valve. After Burress left, you noticed it. The year after, you're like, this guy could play. He started scanning the field a lot more. So Burress was great for early in Eli's career, but Eli actually became a better quarterback after he left. As crazy as that may sound, that's my opinion. Entertainer, what do we got here with Nate Solder's guy? It's not good. Not good. Not good. Favorite Giants player now? Saquon Barkley. Let's see what we got here. Tana, if you were that coach, where are you putting me on the field? Smexy, Mexi, you gotta be a defensive end or an outside linebacker. You had some skills. So true. Was always looking for the next 6'5". Yeah, it's true, man. Can you talk about Mark Ross? Somebody asked me to do a video on that. I will look more into that with the Mark Ross. Gordon Gecko, man, thank you so much, man, for the $10 donation. Ramses Barton was horrible. When did we take Barton was third round? But yeah, I remember that's all everybody said when we took Ramses Barton. He's the next Plaxico Burress. Yeah, okay. Gordon Gecko, man, thanks for the love, man. $10 donation. He says, conspiracy theory, Belichick trades himself picks. He traded up with us to get Tua, gives us many future picks, then comes to the Giants as GM to use the picks he gave us. Once a Giant, always a Giant. If that happened, if there is anybody, and I don't care, I'll talk to you guys a little longer. If there is anybody that is capable of doing that, it's Bill Belichick. And, of course, he'd be under instant investigation. And if Belichick came here, I would hope, at least, that he would bring along Kraft Productions. I mean, whatever it takes to win. But I do think that that would not happen, but that would be a hell of a conspiracy theory. What do you think of our kicker Rosas? I think we got to give him another year. A lot of people pointed to the fact that the kicking troubles had to do with Zach Diassi, right? He wasn't a good snapper at the end of his career. They made the change, with 2 or 3 weeks to go. Rosas played better down the stretch. Got to give him another year, see what he's got. He was good 2 years ago. He sucked last year, but hopefully he bounces back. Do you think that the Giants should trade up for Chase Young? Do I think that the Giants should trade up for Chase Young? Yes, but it's not going to happen. Redskins are not going to trade out of the pick. The Giants would have to for the Redskins to hand the Giants Chase Young, the Giants would have to give them a Mike Ditka trade. When Mike Ditka was the coach with the New Orleans Saints, he literally traded the entire draft to get Ricky Williams. That's what the Giants would have to do for the Redskins to give the Giants Chase Young. It's not happening. The Redskins aren't going to be like, we got this unbelievable pass rusher we could draft. Let's give them to the Giants. I want a couple extra picks. Let's give them to the Giants so we have to block them for the next 10 years. It's not happening. Antoine Moore, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. I appreciate it. What do you think of Antonio Gibson from Memphis? Don't know enough about him, but I will look. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put in my notes right now. I'm starting to look at later round draft prospects, and I will look into them, and I will potentially have them in my 7-round mock draft. I'll look into them, and next stream I will definitely let you know. Thanks so much for letting me. I really appreciate it. Giants going off this season. I hope. Calm down. Calm down. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Incremental. Little by little. I don't want people getting too far ahead of themselves. But let's hope. Let's hope they go off this season. What time is your talk show tomorrow? 2 to 4. I'm going to go 2 to 4, and I'm sure it'll go to 5 because I'm crazy, and I just keep talking to you guys. Thoughts on Chase? I like Chase Claypool. But not. I don't think he's going to be there. I don't think he's going to be there when we pick. I really don't. Yeah, I like Chase Claypool, but I don't think he's going to be there when we pick. He's tall. He's versatile. He can play some tight end, but not going to be there when we pick. How do you feel about Ryan Clowney going into year 2? He had momentum going before his ACL injury. I like him. I think he's going to get an opportunity if he's healthy. Hopefully he's healthy. I think he was a little bit better than coverage than a lot of people thought. He was a little bit better at everything than people thought. When we brought him in, all you heard special teams. That guy was pretty good. I got to see him for a full season, but definitely showed he has some promise. But let's hope he fully recovers. Joe Buck is horrible. I'm a Giants fan, but I'll admit, I actually, some people said they didn't like Romo. Unbiased perspective, I actually think Romo's very good. I like Romo. What's going on there, Damian Estrada? What are your thoughts on the offensive lineman? He's pretty good. A lot of people mention him too. He's moved up mock drafts. He's pretty good. It's a guy we could be looking at. Depending on what we do in the first, he's pretty good. Boise State's got a couple of good prospects there that the Giants could be looking at in the second round. I like Romo, but Buck is horrible. LaMelo Sinclair, man, have a great one, man. Deadpool or Spider-Man? There we go. Non-Giants related question. As a kid, I loved Spider-Man. Was my favorite superhero. The one thing I'll say about Spider-Man, I liked the Tobey Maguire movies when I first saw them. I watch them now. It looks like the Power Rangers. Like I'm not impressed with how they've dated. The newer Spider-Man, I didn't see the second one. The first one was pretty good. Deadpool's hilarious. I mean, it's not like your traditional superhero movie, but it's hilarious. I mean, it depends what you're in the mood for. If you're in the mood for a real superhero movie, I guess Spider-Man. If you're in the mood to laugh, Deadpool. But I enjoy both of them. If we trade with the Dolphins, will we get one of their first as well? If we trade with the Dolphins, will we get one of their first as well? No, we will not. Well, I'd be surprised. Unless we included another pick, I think we'd get one of their seconds. I think we'd get one of their seconds and the fifth. Second spot. Yeah, I didn't see the new set. I didn't see and I actually have it on the Fire Stick. I haven't seen it yet. That's one I got to check out. The first one was pretty good, of the new series. Yankees over Mets. Sorry, but I had to. Joe, man, you're not lying, bro. I'm a Met fan, and I'll admit that. 27-2. I can't compete with you guys. Chris, you son of a bitch. You ready for that Halloween review? That's right, Anthony. Tarantino's great. All right, let's talk movies real quick. Quentin Tarantino. I mean, let's see. I saw the new one, Hollywood. That was good. The Hateful Eight was underrated. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was definitely good. Pulp Fiction is phenomenal. Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite movies ever made. Kill Bill's good. I'm not going to say it's great. It's good. Jackie Brown's good. But, I mean, the Inglourious Bastards is out of this world. And then you got the Django Unchained. Django Unchained, Inglourious Bastards, and Pulp Fiction, 3 of my favorite movies of all time. Quentin Tarantino's great. He's phenomenal. Great. You like All American? Oh man, Adam Troy, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. I really appreciate that. He says Leonard with the 4th and 110th for Jan and their 9. Oh, you're talking about unique. Leonard. Oh, you mean the 10th? Wait. Okay, so we give up the 4th, the 110th, which is our 4th round pick. We get their 9th and unique. I would try not if I was making that trade, I would actually try not to even give up the 110th. I think dropping from 4 to 9 is a significant drop. You're talking early. Most of these tag and trades that we've seen for these edge rushers have been late first round picks, because usually when the teams acquire these players, they're win now teams. You go back, you look at last year. Seahawks acquired a player, Chiefs acquired a player, and I can't remember the other one, but they were all win now teams, so they were late picks. If I'm dropping from 4 to 9, that's a huge drop. So I think that should be enough. If I was looking to get unique, I wouldn't give anything more than that. I wouldn't. Let's see what we got here. What do you think about Bradbury? I like Bradbury. I'm a fan of Bradbury, and the thing that I like about it more than anything is the length of the contract. That's what I continue to express. I didn't think there was any way possible you were getting him on a 3-year deal. I thought 4-year maybe. I didn't think it was going to be 3. I was very happy with that. What's up, Entertainer? Made it safely to Chicago. Glad to hear that, man. Glad to hear that. Q-Dog, of course, everybody wish him good luck out there. He's a truck driver, and I know that's a dangerous job, especially right now. So, one of my best subscribers. He is the Daniel Jones prophet. So, I always give him credit for that. And I hope you're being safe out there, man. What's going on, Sarge? Thanks for popping in. Fun fact, Levine Toilo caught Matt Prater's TD pass in 2018. Yeah, that is a good fact there, Joe DeGracia. Chris, should Saquon Barkley's injury still be a concern? I don't think so. No. I mean, the one thing I was concerned with last year was if they were rushing him back. If they rushed him back, I was a little worried, and I think that they did. I think they should have waited until probably after the bye, because we weren't winning anything next year anyway. There was no point in rushing him back, risking further injury. But no, I think he's good. I'm not worried about him going into the season. I mean, you see these off-season videos. This guy's deadlifting, squatting, whatever it is. He's got like 10 weights on each side. He looks like a lunatic. You think the Giants? Yeah, I think. Well, if they bring in another player, Marshall, I think it'll be a small piece, nothing of significance. Let's see what we got here. I say we draft Ruiz. I would love Ruiz in the second round, Breeze. Love it. Biggest draft stock drop-off and biggest draft stock riser. That's a good one. I'm only looking at like the first round. The biggest drop, I think, is Epinesa, at least as of now. A.J. Epinesa was a guy that was going in the top 15 or 16 at the latest in every mock. Now you see him going the back end of the first or early second. So I would say Epinesa was the biggest drop. Maybe there was somebody else that I'm not thinking of. And Judy, kind of. Judy early on, I'm talking, a month and a half, 2 months ago, was kind of going in the top 5, 6. Now he's going like 12, 13, so he kind of, not his fault, just the wide receivers dropped a little bit. In terms of, and Andrew Thomas, there's another one. I'm trying not to look at the chat, but those 3. In terms of the rise, Becton. I got to think Becton, right? Becton was a big riser. I'll go Becton. There's the big riser. Mims is another one. Good one. Good call there, Denzel Mims. Oh, Q-Dog, man. Thanks so much, man, for the love, man. I really appreciate that. $2 donation. He says, is Tiki Barber a Hall of Famer? He had an amazing career. If he would have played another year, Q-Dog, he's in the Hall of Fame. And I named my dog after Tiki Barber. I loved Tiki Barber. Tiki Barber was my favorite player as a kid. And then he did what he did to Eli and the Giants, and obviously that left a sour taste in my mouth. But in terms of Tiki Barber as a football player, I loved him, man. I loved watching him play. That guy was unbelievable. There was a 3-year period, 3, maybe 4, probably 3, where he was arguably the best running back in the sport. I mean, that guy, he would have 100 yards from scrimmage. He was ridiculous. Yeah, he was great. Tiki Barber, he's phenomenal. He played 1 more year, he's in the Hall of Fame. And I think it's debatable he should be in now, but 1 more year he'd be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, Chad, I miss Tiki too. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I miss Tiki the dog too. People forget how Tiki was. Tiki, the thing that pissed me off about Tiki more than anything else, and I loved Tiki, but the thing that pissed me off was not even Eli, and I didn't like that. Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin was the only reason Tiki Barber became what he became. We all remember what Tiki Barber was before Coughlin got there. He's dropping balls on the mat. He's got butter in his fingers. Tom Coughlin gets there. He was widely credited with fixing Tiki Barber's fumbling problems. Then Tiki Barber takes off, and then Tiki Barber retires, and he throws Coughlin under the bus. I didn't like that. What offense will be? It's the Air Coryell. It's going to be a lot of vertical passes down the seam on the outside. You're going to see the tight end involved over the middle. It's going to be a lot more vertical passes, and I think they're going to run the ball more. He did. That's fair. He did use Tiki a lot. I love Ingram, and he can be a huge weapon to our team. He just needs to stay healthy. He does. That's the thing, though. Can he stay healthy? That I didn't like either, but it is what it is. Yeah, I didn't like that. Will Daniel Jones take the next step next year? Charles says. I'm gonna give Charles the same answer I gave before. Chris also slanders the blank. Oh, I guess I do, Sonora. But my answer to that, as far as Daniel Jones goes, what do we do with the offensive line? Do we push off the offensive line till the second round? Do we not get that good of a tackle, a guy that's going to make an impact this year? Or do we put a heavy emphasis and take Jedrick Wills? If we fix the offensive line, I think he'll have a big second year. If the offensive line is the same as it was, I don't think it'll be much better. That's my answer. What's up, Chris Tops? Chris, would you bail on Bradbury in 1 year if he sucks? No. It's too much of a dead cap hit. You can't. I mean, I don't know the contract off the top of my head. You can't, though. He's making 16 this year, so he's still making 29 over the last two. The third year you could bail him. You can't bail on him in the second. And I don't think he's going to suck. Sweet Tana, go until I am not going to 1 a.m. Tiki Barber was not a special team. No, Tiki Barber, when he came out, was a he wasn't Tiki Barber was a platoon back at first, and then he worked his way in. You know, he was a punt returner, things like that, and then he gradually moved up. Where right around that Super Bowl season, he was still splitting carries, but 2000 is where he started to take off as the lead dog. I think he just cracked 1,000 yards in 2000, if I'm not mistaken, on the ground, and then from 01 on, he really started to take the bulk of the carries. Let's see what we got here. Good night, man. I'll call in tomorrow. All right, Tago. I'm looking forward to it, man. Gonna head out, Chris. I'll see you. All right, sounds good. I can't see Brad. I don't think he's gonna suck. Bradbury's gonna be fine. I don't think he's gonna suck. Chance Giants trading down with the Chargers. 30%. Tana's gonna be streaming till 2 p.m. tomorrow. Talk show. If JPP gets a second Super Bowl with Tampa and reaches 100 sacks, is he a Hall of Famer? I don't know. How many sacks does he have right now, Dilly? I know he's picked up some with the Tampa Bay Bucks the last 2 years. How many has he got now? What has he got, about 70? What has he got? It's a good question. I never thought about it. If he got 100 sacks, he might be. Still waiting on an apology from Tiki, 14 years. Yeah, Taco. He's got 80. I don't know if he's got 20 more left in him, but if he gets to 100, he'd have a chance. He'd definitely have a chance if he got to 100 sacks. I mean, I don't have the list in front of me, but 100's got to put him in the top 15 ever? It's got to be up there. Top 15 or 20 probably. He'd have a shot. Yeah, well, he definitely belongs in the Fireworks Hall of Fame, that's for sure. It's almost 5 a.m., gotta go. Yeah, I'm ending this in like 5 minutes. He definitely won't be first ballot. If it's a vertical passing, Shepard Tate, yeah, I know. That's why somebody asked me who do I think could regress this year in the offense, and if I had to pick out a name, it would be one of those 2 wide receivers. Do you think we should fire Gettleman? If so, when? I mean, I hope not. I'm definitely more of a Gettleman guy than not. I try to be unbiased. I call Gettleman out when I think it's justified. He does some stupid things. I also give him credit. The people that hate Gettleman will not give him credit for anything, other than the draft. But when he does a good This is my take on Gettleman. The people who hate Gettleman, they'll point out all the little small misses, but they won't point out all the small makes. He has a lot of small makes that they won't talk about. So I try to be fair with Gettleman. I wouldn't have been upset if they fired Gettleman last year. And it had nothing to do with Gettleman. It had more to do with starting a clean slate. Okay? You were firing Shermer. I would have been okay with completely starting from scratch. They did not do that. Now that you did not do that, I think you got to give Gettleman 2 years. That's just my opinion, unless he completely screws this up. That's just my opinion. I think you got to give him 2 years, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. Q-Dog, man, thanks so much, man, for the love, man. $2 donation. He says, remember when the Giants had Earth Wind? Oh, God. That triplet, I mean, Derek Ward was great that year. Derek Ward had, I think he had over 1,000 yards, if I'm not mistaken. I know he had a lot of yards through the air. You had Bradshaw, Jacobson, Ward. That was great. And, yeah. 100 sacks would rank 34th all time. All right. I mean, he'd be borderline Hall of Famer if he could get there, man. What's up, JG? $2 donation from JG. He says Eric Flowers is a first ballot. First ballot what? First ballot trash can? Eric Flowers. Oh my God. That's one of the worst picks ever in New York Giants history. Eric Flowers. Oh man, first ballot trash can. Anyone know what time? Ethan, it's gonna end in like 5. It's gonna end in like 5 minutes. Yeah, John, I was not happy. Not my proudest moment as a Giants fan. Yeah, first ballot cesspool. The problem with firing the GM now is you risk the chance of losing your whole staff too. Exactly. That's why I think when they kept him, I think Gettleman's getting 2 years. I think they're going to let... I could be wrong. I think he's going to get 2 years. And it seems like they have a good working relationship. As much as people... We'll see what happens in the draft, but as much as people say that they were worried Gettleman was going to have full say, that does not seem to be the case. You look at all these free agents. It seems like the coaches have just as much input, if not more, with the connections they have. First ballot... JG's with the $2 donation says, first ballot bum. Yeah, Jab G's, man. Jab G's always makes me laugh, and I'm definitely gonna have that video up for you soon. I'm gonna do the 7-round mock draft first. I know you asked about that, and then I'm gonna probably in a week. I may wait until after the draft just because right now I'm focused on draft coverage, but I'm definitely gonna do that other video where I look at next year's free agents and how I could use the cap space. Part of me wants to wait till after the draft so I have a better understanding of what the roster is going forward. So I may wait till after the draft and then make that video, but I'm definitely going to make that video where I do the where I go over the cap space and how I would use it in next year's offseason. Going over the free agents, and maybe not necessarily, I'm not going to know which players become available, but how I would use the money and breaking it down in terms of who I would extend, how much I would look to extend them for, and I'm definitely going to do that. You got it, Nikki. You got it, Nikki. What do you think? I love Cody Core. Cody Core is one of my favorite Giants. Nick with Jeff Hostetler was an OG. Yes, he was. Yes, he was, man. Backup quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Do you think Daniel Jones could be the best quarterback in Giants history? I hope and pray. Okay, because if he's a better quarterback than Eli Manning, well, he's got to win at least one. At least one, if he's going to be a better quarterback than Eli Manning. And if Daniel Jones gets me one Super Bowl, I'm happy. Super Bowls don't grow on trees. So, for him to be I don't care what his statistics are, for him to even be in the consideration of being the Giants' greatest quarterback ever, he's got to get at least one Super Bowl. If he gets one Super Bowl, I'm happy. So, let's see what the kid's got. Let's see what we got here. Chris, favorite wide receiver in the draft? I'm slightly leaning CeeDee Lamb, Chuck. I am, but I like both. I like Judy and him. Those are clear top two to me. I know Ruggs and speed. I think Judy and CeeDee Lamb are the top two. I'm slightly leaning Lamb. Oh man, thank you so much, man. Dioncio, best videos to watch during quarantine. I hope you guys enjoy watching my videos when you're not forced to too. But I'm trying to help you guys out there in the quarantine, going live more often, and thank you guys for all your support. Thank you guys for hanging out here and subscribing and showing all the love that you guys do. Um, Being out of school 2 weeks is like Christmas because you're watching Tana videos and streams. I appreciate that, Jeffrey Young. That's a compliment. JG's, man, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. I appreciate that. He says, your GM vids are great. I now understand how cap money should be used properly because of you. Wow, man. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, those are some of my favorite videos to make. You know, I don't know if everybody likes those videos. I love making those videos. Those are fun for me because, and it may not always transpire, but I like to put myself, that's fun for me, man, to put myself in the mind of a general manager and tell you guys what I think the best course of action would be and how I think the Giants are going to go about doing it, because I think they are going similar to the approach that I would do. And yeah, I'm looking forward to making that video. I really am, the 2021 offseason. Oh, Q-Dog, man, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate that, man. Q-Dog's been with me forever. He's a great supporter of the channel. Thank you so much, man. Q-Dog's a new member, and hopefully you're in the stream. I'm going to do only once a month. I'm going to do a private stream, but hopefully you get the giveaway. I hope one of you guys get the giveaway, but Q-Dog's one of my best, man, so thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. I will check them out, Bill. I'm going to write them down right now, Bill. I always like to write these guys down when you guys tell me to check them out. Are we actually going to have 100 mil caps? But yeah, yes. I mean, yeah, but I'm going to explain it better in the video. Yes, but the 100 mil is not going to seem like 100 mil from 2 years ago, because obviously everybody's going to be making a lot more money, and I'll explain what I would do if I was the general manager. And a lot of that's going to be predicated on how Nate Solder plays this year, and obviously how, you know, some of the other guys that we could potentially cut play this year. But I'll go over all the options, the max potential cap space, how I would use it potentially, which players I would look to extend, you know, obviously assuming they stay healthy, how much I'd be willing to give them based on the market, and yeah, and kind of give you guys a roundabout after keeping all the in-house guys, how much cap space we could potentially have on free agency. I may not even go over the free agents because who knows who's going to be franchise tag, whatever, but just show you guys how much money after doing all the in-house things that we could potentially spend to look to bring in guys from the outside. Let's see what we got here. Still not a huge fan of the Giants picking Dexter Lawrence. You don't like Dexter Lawrence, Jonathan? Really? I like Dexter Lawrence. Who's your favorite O-lineman in this draft? It changes for me every day. People ask me that every day. It changes for me every day. I would say slightly, Thomas and Wills, because I know that I think both of them can play left tackle. Wirfs, though, I get so excited thinking about Wirfs getting out there on screen passes with his athletic ability, lead blocking for Saquon Barkley. I like all three of those guys, and I like Becton, but I would say slightly Thomas and Wills. The reason I mocked Wirfs is because that's what I think Gettleman's going to do. Right now, at least, man. All you've heard from everybody is the New York Giants like Wirfs, so that's why I had them mock. But I'm not going to be upset if they take Wirfs. I like Wirfs. Which veteran can we redo their contract? Do you mean by saving money, Big Daddy? Hey, Marjorie, what's going on, Marjorie? Thanks for popping in the stream. I mean, I've talked extensively. I would look to extend Barkley, but I'm going to have to look into the salary cap I mean, I would cut Solder next year unless he really takes off, because he's not going to be worth this $20 million price tag, and he'd save you 14. So right off the bat, that's $14 million added onto the cap. I would cut Solder. And, you know, it depends on what Zeitler does, because Zeitler only has a $2 million dead cap hit, and he's going to cost $14 million. So if he doesn't play well this year, I might cut him too, because that would save you another $12 million. Hopefully he plays well. That's not the case, but those are two potential cuts. There's not any, other than those two, there's not like a huge guy that they could potentially cut. But Solder to me is a no-doubter. And hopefully Zeitler's not the case. I like Zeitler. So we'll see. But I would think Solder would definitely be cut. Watch Wirfs YouTube videos. Solder in his last year. Can they restructure Solder? I mean, it's possible, I guess. Maybe they could extend the contract. Maybe they could do something like that. Do you think Isaiah Simmons is a Strahan-like play? No. See, listen, I think Isaiah Simmons is great, but I think a lot of people think Isaiah Simmons is a pass rusher. Isaiah Simmons is not a pass rusher. Isaiah Simmons could blitz. He could get to the quarterback. He's versatile. Isaiah Simmons is not a pass rusher. Isaiah Simmons is a guy that's going to drop back in coverage. He could take away the slot. He could take away the tight end. He could play the linebacker spot, guard against the run. He could chase down the quarterback on the RPO. He's got great side-to-side quickness. He could occasionally get to the quarterback, but his primary role is not a pass rusher. All right, see you, Tane. Enjoyed the stream. Keep up the good work. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Extend Zeitler. You could do that. You could extend Zeitler for 2 years, spread out the contract. Give him. You could do that if he plays well. Wouldn't you? Yeah, that's a much better comparison. He's more similar to that. What's going on, Big Blue? Because Jadeveon Clowney hasn't signed a big deal, it means the pass rush market hasn't reset itself yet. Is that good for us looking ahead for the 2021 offseason? Of course. But some of that might have to do with the pass rushers that are on the open market too. The guys that were probably looked at as the premium targets didn't hit the open market. A lot of teams might have looked at Clowney as a guy with injury history, a guy that only had 3 sacks coming off an injury. Had, Unique or had Shaq Barrett hit the free agency market, they might have reset it. So it's also circumstantial, I think. I think if one of those younger guys hit the market, they would have got the 22, 23. So yes and no. I think because of the franchise tag, it wasn't reset. Dennis Goodman, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. I try my best. What do I gotta do to get a Daniel motherfucker? Q-Dog, the first giveaway is gonna be a fitted hat. And as it gets bigger, I haven't set the numbers, but I said initially 50. I'm a little below that. I was like, I'm just gonna start doing the giveaways. And once it gets bigger, I don't know the number yet. I'm going to start giving away jerseys. And then if it gets really big one day, I'll start giving away, like, tickets. So I like to give back to you guys because you guys help my channel. So, but I'm going to do a fitted hat, my first giveaway. Thanks for the stream. Look forward to the call-in show. Yeah, Ethan, man, I'll be live tomorrow at about 2. I think I'll go 2 to 4. We'll probably go to 4:30. And then we'll take the rest of the day off, do some videos if there's stuff to talk about. And then, I'll probably be doing these night shows every other night or every third night. And I'm definitely going to be doing those Giants watch parties soon. I want to do that. I brought that up as an idea. You guys seem really open to that. So I thought that'd be cool to get to watch, Giants games with tons of Giants fans. So I'm going to look into that and see if, I don't want to break any YouTube rules, but I'm going to look into that and see if I could do that. I've been live too long. No calling now. No calling now. Hopefully there's some news tomorrow. Do I make a lot? I mean, I'm hoping one day to make enough, as a living, whether it's on YouTube or off. I work hard, so that's my dream. I'm not gonna get into exact details, but I work hard on YouTube. You should make a followers only chat room on Discord too. I like that. That's a good idea, BS. I gotta look into creating another Discord. Yes, that's a good idea, BS. I will look into that. I'll look into that. It's something we'll talk about when we have the separate stream, for sure. Been a great stream. I appreciate that, Afghanistan. Thank you very much. Did you ever play? Yes. Not that much, but when I was younger, I did for like 3 years. I didn't play in high school. I played when I was like from 12 to 15. Believe it or not, I was a very small kid. In high school, when I was like a junior, I was probably like 140 pounds, 145 pounds. So yeah, I was a small kid in high school. So, I played baseball. Baseball was my sport in high school. But yeah, I played football when I was younger. Yeah, I'm crazy, mini guy, man. I give back to you. I don't know. I want to talk to you guys. I can't help it. You need to join the NFL now. I hope Liam will, man. I'm gonna put my application in right now. Will Chase Young fall to the Giants? No, I don't bank on it. I'll say that. Don't expect it. But but guys, I did extend it a whole hour, but it was a lot of fun, man. I always love doing these streams, talking to you guys, and hopefully you guys are staying safe, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the night. And like I said, I'll be live for the call-in show midday, couple hours tomorrow. Just have it, do something different. Do a call-in show, whatever it may be, so I get to talk to you guys and hear your opinions and, continue to try to give you guys something to watch and listen to, and you guys give me someone to talk to while we're going through this nonsense. But, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being great supporters of the channel. And no, I have not heard from Bill Goldberg. Not yet, me. But I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, guys.